have to realize is that we're all just a mouse that a cat has by the tail. Every single move we make, from the mundane to the monumental, the red light that we stop at or run, the people we have sex with or won't with us, the airplanes that we ride or walk out of. It's all part of death's sadistic design, leading to the grave.
Design. Does that mean if you figure out the design, you can cheat death?
Alex, you've already done that by walking off the plane. Your friend's departure shows that death has a new design for all of you. You have to figure out how and when it's coming back at you. Play your hunch, Alex, if you think you can get away with it. But remember, the risk of cheating the plan, of disrespecting the design, could incite a fury that could terrorize even the Grim Reaper. And you don't even want to fuck with that, Mac Daddy.
All right. All ahead, what is going on? You're truly the mouthpiece to the Northeast. Jimmy J here, alongside with the Punisher himself, Big Gabe.
Hey guys doing?
Oh, man, what an intro. I didn't know it was that long.
Yeah.
And then we have John Denver playing. This song sends chills down my spine every time I hear it. I heard this in an antique store. That's what it was. In an antique store out in PA. It just popped on. And this is like last year. And I was with the missus and I ran out of there. Like, dude, I thought something was going to go down in there. Because I haven't heard this song since, well, actually, no, I'm lying. There was one time on the ferry. I was going to go on the ferry in Staten Island. And I decided not to go on the ferry because I heard this. So I swear to God. This is how traumatized I am from Final Destination. But anyway, enough of that. Here we go, horror heads. We are back. Another episode, Horror 365 live, baby. And we are talking Final Destination, Bloodlines, franchise conversation. We're going to get into it here. And this week right here, I got the Punisher himself, Big Gabe, joining me over here. We should have Johnny Sparks jumping in there shortly. The one and the only Swift, the anesthesiologist. This week, he's taking a little much-needed R&R. I mean, the guy's been going nonstop over here. I don't know anybody that works harder than Swift. I have no idea. But he's been on a mission lately, and I said, dude, take a break, sit back. We got this covered this week. So I see him up in the comments. Mama Swift in there. What's going on? Mama Swift in the house. And there he goes. Swift himself. He still can't take off. Swift is still not taking off. He's still commenting. Jesus Christ, get some rest, man.
He's a hustler.
Jimmy, what's going on, my man? How we doing? Thank you for jumping up in here. Yeah, he doesn't stop, Gabe. Gabe, how are you, man? How you been?
I'm good. Actually had a dinner with one of my filmmaking friends tonight. Yeah, it was good. I saw Bloodlines last week. I know we're gonna get to that.
Okay. Oh yeah.
That was an experience. Wow.
So initially, I gotta ask you. So initially, without spoiling anything right now, because by the way, I just want to throw this out there. There are going to be spoilers. So if you haven't seen the movie and you don't want to know what happened, I suggest I'll give you a heads up before we really get into it. But I suggest just waiting to see this episode until you see the movie. But what were your thoughts going into this? I mean, because obviously we know this is Tony Todd's last role. We haven't seen a Final Destination movie in quite some time. It's 25 years since the original. What was your thoughts going into this movie? And then how did you feel coming out of the movie?
Okay, so it's interesting. I was expecting, so everybody's talking about how it's the most graphic opening scene. Now, let me just note, it was probably one of the longer opening scenes. So it was very long. It felt a little dragged down at times, but it wasn't. Now, I went in expecting a lot of gore, some laughs, because I heard there was some funny stuff. I will say I have OCD and Tourette syndrome, So like my OCD was bugging out at the second half of the film, so it's preventing me from fully enjoying it. So I do have to see it again. But I did really love it. What I loved about it is it didn't let up. But when I went in, I expecting something gory, funny, and fun, and I left with something gory, funny, and fun, and emotional because Tony Todd, his final role. And it was very special. There was a message he left in there to fans that was not scripted. That I spoke to his sister this past week, and she felt it was almost directed at her and her brother, his brother-in-law, her husband as well. So it was beautiful. So in addition to being fun, funny, and gory, it was emotional. It's like, and Tony Todd still mysterious, still has an aura about him after all these years, and the world's not gonna be the same without him, and the franchise definitely won't. But I think it was a beautiful close to the book. I mean, I personally think they could end the franchise there, from the way they did it, but obviously with movies, the way movies work, that you can make more. Just the way, if you follow the story and how this ties into the original story of the whole franchise, you realize, oh, this could be the perfect bookend. And when I say bookend, and the actors actually said this, it bookends the franchise, meaning it starts by 60 years back in the 60s and ends at the end of the path of death from everybody that death targeted on this from the families of this
since that happened.
Hour.
So I want to say this though, because I see a lot of people in the comments real quick. They're commenting that they haven't seen the film. What I will say is this, guys, if you left, then you left already. But what I want to do is I do want to talk about a couple things about the film. I really was not thinking about spoiling it, but I really wanted to get into some of the things. So I guess what I'm going to say is, because I want to talk about the franchise as a whole, but it's like I'm noticing a lot of people haven't seen the film. So I guess we'll just keep it as it is. If you guys, come back and watch this if you haven't seen it. I'm looking at some of the comments. Jimmy, what's up? If you're still here, buddy, I know that's Sam's boyfriend. It's new horror 365 girl, Sammy Joe. That's Jimmy R. And Matt Griffin. Matt, what's going on, buddy? How we doing? You just finished. Oh my God, dude, you're gonna have nightmares for weeks. Swift said, let's discuss the franchise. I definitely want to talk about that. But again, I don't know exactly. I really want to, again, get into Bloodlines, but I guess I'll say this overall. Gabe, to your point, they can end it right here. They don't need to do anything else. I think it was perfect, and it was so creepy, though. It was so creepy how it happened without trying to spoil it here. Well, let's wait and see what people say. But how it happened when Tony Todd said the things that he said. And what he said was just so real. In real life, like it was, it hit because of his passing. And then even how the movie concluded. But
he knew he was dying, so that's why it was so heartfelt and special. It's like he knew he was dying.
Yeah, I mean, look at the difference here. Like when we had Tony Todd, this was 2000 Final Destination, and then this was him in the film, as many people seen. In the film, it's sad. Like Tony was pretty much almost unrecognizable. Unfortunately, I mean, this is a man that and again, I was very upset what happened with the award show earlier this year. I'm not even going to give the name, but the fact that they did not pay him homage. And this is a man that's not only a legend in the film industry, but he's a legend in theater. And it's just wild. And we have Johnny Sparks now jumping in the conversation.
Hey, what's up, my brothers?
There he goes, the most electrifying cosplayer in the game today.
The award-winning cosplayer.
No, the award. Yeah, man, this is the man right here, Johnny Sparks, baby.
Stop. All right. Okay, a little more. All right.
Oh, yeah. Keep it up. Well, Johnny's like, oh, listen, please, guys. Come on. What are we doing here?
What's up, Gabe, man? How you doing?
They got him. The crowd's going wild. Johnny's here. No, but Big Tony's in the house. He said didn't see it, but I don't care. Would never miss it. Oh, I appreciate you, Tone. Thank you, brother.
What's up, Tony?
I appreciate that. So I don't know if they're still here. Let me ask and see if you guys are still on here. I have no idea. But Matt, Jimmy, if you guys are still here, just comment. Because I'm gonna see if we're gonna get into details really. I guess we should. Johnny, you're here. You just seen the film as well. So yeah, we'll talk about Bloodlines in a second. There's a couple things I wanted to touch on from. Well, I wanted to ask you guys both.
Hold on. Did you just see the lights dim? What's that sound? I'm flipping the fuck out, man. This movie's got me paranoid.
Yo, that was legit.
I was afraid to drive home. I'm checking the lug nuts. I'm checking my brake lines. Holy shit,
dude! Woo! No, it's not. It's no joke. Like I feel like Final Destination. Every one of the parts, man. They get you. You know, like
nothing cuts your brake lines like a jealous woman.
that and death. I don't know which one is first, but yeah.
But dude, guys, I gotta say, man. Like this movie is so psychological, this franchise in general, and there are certain parts that really hit people harder than other parts because it's based on their fears, what people are more afraid of. You know, but it's just it has you thinking, and it has you watching every little thing you do because it's making. Well, if I do this, this might happen, and then that might happen, and then maybe I'm gonna fucking fall off the cliff, and I'm gonna, you know, like I'm gonna ram it. You know, it's just it has you going nuts, man. And that's why I was laughing because to this day, I cannot watch the first one. I mean, even the other ones get me, but the first one, because of my backstory with that one, it's still, I traumatized for like at least 3-4 days after I watch it. To this day.
This is not really a spoiler, but there was a death scene in Child's Play 3 that didn't get me as much as it does in this one. Because it's a very similar death scene.
I'm trying to think which one we were talking about.
There's a death in Child's Play 3 that actually happens in Bloodlines, but it gets me more in this one because it's in an everyday setting.
I'm trying to think what you're talking about. Oh my god!
Yeah, I'm trying to think of
which kill.
Could be
Bloodlines.
Yeah, okay, in Bloodline. But I'm
in Bloodline.
I'm thinking about what happened. Which kills in Child's Play 3 happened in Bloodline?
The character was blonde.
Okay, I got you.
Okay, all right.
Well, no spoilers, right? So we're doing no spoilers.
No, we're gonna get in there because I don't think the
two
gentlemen. I think Matt and Jimmy that were talking about it. They left. They didn't want to spoil. So we're gonna talk about it. Guys, there's a couple things I want to talk about with the franchise, but I guess we'll start with this before we get into Bloodlines. Out of every sequel, all the parts, Final Destination, we're gonna start, Gabe, with you. Which part did you enjoy the most, and why?
Okay, obviously the first one's outside of the sixth one, the first one's my favorite, and just because it set the tone for the whole franchise. But outside of the first five, the first one's my favorite, and the fifth one's probably my second favorite. My least favorite, probably because I thought the deaths were so depressing, and no other reasons other than that probably was part 2.
Really, part 2 is your least favorite?
My least favorite, just because I felt like, and I literally was watching it during the day, and when a teenage kid gets crushed by a sheet of falling glass, I wanted to vomit. It was just, I can't watch kids die in movies.
Yeah,
especially in front of his mother. You know, like it's just it's in
front of his mom, man. I'm like, oh god damn.
Yeah, it's too real life for me.
Johnny, what about you, brother? Which is your favorite part?
Oh, geez. I really, I don't have a favorite movie per se. There's just, I can just recall. I mean, again, it's like the first movie was what, 2000?
Yeah, 2000.
So it's a long time, bro, and I can barely remember what I did yesterday. So,
I'm not sure going to play the first one. I'm listening.
There you go. Yeah, play it. Put that bad boy on. But yeah, it's just to me the most memorable parts of the kills. That's what sticks with me is the plots, the storylines throughout the whole franchise is obviously very similar. The faces change, of course, but it's really more the kills. And I don't know. I think the third one for me is one that I've seen most, and the first one.
Okay,
those two I've seen the most. Yeah, yes. I mean, because it is. I think again, you have to relate to what happens in these movies. Like you were saying, Jimmy, like you were traumatized by something that you do, and same thing with myself, with the roller coaster and being big in amusement parks and carnivals. So for me, I was like, holy crap, how the hell do I ever go sit on another roller coaster after that whole scene? And so for me, it's not so much a particular movie, it's the kills that kind of resonate and stick with me and make me paranoid as all hell, man. I'm like, I'm afraid to take a bath, step out of the house, get in the car, get on a plane. All of these things, I'm like paranoid.
Listen, I don't blame you, John. It gets you psychologically. I think this is the most. This is torture for me psychologically because I overanalyze certain things sometimes. I overthink, and now with this film,
to begin with,
forget about it. Yeah. No, it's crazy. I took a shower before every time before the lives. That's probably why people are wondering, Jimmy, why is somebody asked me this, by the way. Okay. Is your blood pressure up? And I said, no, it's just hot in this. It's hot in the basement. And I just took a hot fucking shower for no reason. I mean, because it's like 55. It's like in May. But anyway, my
rip off the blazer. Show the guns, baby.
Yeah, no, listen, man. It's not. Yeah. Johnny froze. Yeah, like the Hulk, man. But listen, dude. This gets me fucking. No, it gets me crazy. Like I didn't even want to take a shower because I just watched Revisited again after seeing Bloodlines Part 1, and I'm now looking around like the guy that died in what's his name that died in the shower. He got hung with it. This is
strangulated.
Oh my! I was choking watching him die. I couldn't breathe. Like it was bad, man. So but you know what? These movies, I'm not gonna say every one of them out of the franchise, but most of them are well done. My favorite is always going to be the original, and it's always going to hit me just the hardest, man, because of the backstory. And again, I said this a couple times already. I watched this the first time the night before 9/11, and I went after I watched the film. I was like blown away. I was already thinking about what paying attention to every little thing I was doing. Then I go in my room and I'm going to play the PlayStation. And my mother had the radio on in the room. They had Light FM on. And there was commercials on Light FM. Oh, dude, I kid you not, guys. That John Denver, Colorado, the Rocky Mountain High song came on that radio. I turned whiter than what I am now. And then I just went to bed. I said, I'm done for the day. And then 9/11 happened the next day. And then that was it. From this point on, I'm traumatized.
And you start to feel like you're in an episode. You're in one of the movies when these things start to happen.
Yeah, no, 100%, man. And again, this is me just like overthinking it, but it has you thinking. Kills in this franchise too.
I was already the only thing that made me afraid of, really, for the most part, these movies were things I was already afraid of, like a racetrack. With my OCD, it's can imagine a car flipping and flying into the audience and stuff like that. I actually will say I watched the fifth one the most, more the end of the fifth one, like the second half, because I just love the twist ending of the fifth one.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
the delivery of it was so cool. And
absolutely.
I actually remember when the flight that it was based on actually crashed. I remember waking up in the morning, one Sunday morning or something, to the flight 1-800. You remember what flight 1-800, which the flight 180 was based on?
Oh, TWA flight 800. Flight 800.
Yeah.
Flight 800. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Flight 800 is what the flight 180 was based on. TW flight. I thought it was it was 800.
Yes, 800. Yeah.
I remember when it happened, and then I watched the movie, and I'm like, is this based on that? Like, because it was right over New York, like, and I remember Hudson Harbor. They were picking out pieces from the.
Absolutely. Well, they both planes departed from JFK, and both were Boeing 747s. The plane in the movie and the one that really happened, and that was
footage. They even used footage from the news of Flight 800 in Final Destination.
Talk about bad omen. Woo! Yeah. But yeah, that was July 96 is when the flight TWA Flight 800. 90s. Yeah, 96 July, and that was TWA Flight 800. But yeah, I was curious about that. I always wondered, is it the same? Yeah, same aircraft, same 747 Boeing. Man, I was like, ooh. Yeah.
Yeah, I know that was that's I guess what made it even more real was the fact that they used it. It was based on that and what happened.
Yeah.
So and this was started 25 years ago in the franchise, Final Destination, and then we had 2, which came out. I think it was a couple years later after that, and that one was another one that was just so realistic. The car accident, that happens every day. People get in the car accident, and I think this one is the most like. I think fans tend to know this one a lot more just because of that infamous log scene, man. Oh man, here, queued it up here.
Dude, I'm having a panic attack right now. Come on.
Yeah, no audio. There it goes. There it goes.
One of the best scenes.
Jesus Christ. It's not the whole scene, but I got 40 seconds of it here.
Yeah.
And oh God, just watching it.
And this guy driving the Mustang. Do you remember how he bites it?
Oh yeah. Well, I think we get that right here.
Explosion and the wires.
Yes.
No, right. This thing right here. Oh geez. This guy's about to get. Yeah. This is.
This guy's exposing the wires. The biker gets the.
Well, this is the dream sequence. This is
right.
That was
I'm thinking about but later on, the guy in the car.
Yeah, that guy.
He gets the explosion. The explosion, and the other guy, the biker, gets the
pipe? Is it a pipe?
No, it wasn't a pipe. It was ladder. The ladder impales.
The ladder, the fire escape. The fire escape ladder.
Oh, okay, good.
When he hit the floor, I mean, the guy was doing good. He got out of it. He was dodging left and right. He was like it was him 2 dead 0, and then boom, that's it. Death got him. And I think what was crazy about it is it has you thinking like. Even the little things that you do in life, right? That, like, for instance, think about the people that were going to go to work on 9/11 and they were late. They got up late and they didn't go in and they survived. Now, you think about the blueprint that he talks about, Death's design. In a way, they cheated death. So it's coming, it's coming back for them. And it's like, now you think about it, you watch one of these movies, now you're going to be thinking like, oh my God, what's next? What's going to happen? I mean, are they lucky? Is it just like that they dodged a bullet? Is death coming right back around? And that's what it was with in the original when Tony was explaining that we showed a little clip in the beginning to Devin Sawa that and I forgot her name. What Gabe? I don't know if you know. Remember her name?
Ali Larder.
Claire.
Yeah,
not Claire. Ali Larder.
Yeah, Claire Rivers.
Not Claire. No,
Claire Rivers
Redfield from Resident Evil, which she played, but Ali Larder.
Yeah, she's awesome. I love her. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And, poor names, but yes, with both of them, man, that was like I guess a prelude of what was to come with all the other sequels after this. And the second one, like I said, the third one was another good one with the roller coaster. That had me because I hate roller coasters. I mean, I've been on roller coasters, but oh my God. It had me thinking about that roller coasters
either.
And then,
I love them. I can't wait, man. You get to Universal, Disney, get on those coasters, man. First car, first seat, hands up the whole time. It's like, I'm going to die. Woo! Hey, Mama Swift.
I was actually watching an interview past, and they said that's an actual roller coaster that they shot the third one in, and it just recently got taken down. But some of the cast members have actually ridden on that actual roller coaster where the movie was filmed. The third one movie was filmed.
If you ever want the most realistic experience, a roller coaster experience, all you got to do is go to Coney Island and get on the Cyclone. If you want to feel like you're taking your life in your hands every single time,
But
you get on the Cyclone and just hold tight and say a prayer. And
they're like saying a prayer is like asking to die.
Exactly. I think they're going to just keep running that thing until eventually it falls apart, and we actually have a real life, Final Destination clip.
Oh God, it's crazy because the last time I watched the third one, it was an issue. I think it was an incident in Texas where the coaster. No, it was Six Flags right in Jersey. There was an issue with the coaster got stuck the day after I watched, and this always happens, dude. Thank you. Now I just remembered the second one. There was one time I watched the second film. I know you get where. Listen, I watched it, and they had that huge pileup in Texas with the ice. I don't know if you guys remember that.
Oh,
there was
I remember.
You're cutting in and out. You're cutting in and out.
I watched the second one the night before that happened, and I watched the third one the night before Six Flags roller coaster got stuck. And
Jim,
I gotta stop watching these movies, man. Yeah.
So let me get this straight. So every time you watch one of these movies, there's a major catastrophe.
Bro, I'm telling you. Look, you know what?
I'm seeing a pattern here.
Listen, now one's on now. Okay, just pay attention because I thought all these plane issues that's been happening this year. I thought maybe that was some sort of promotion for Final Destination Bloodlines.
Ooh. I mean,
that's terrible. Yeah. That is terrible.
Who's making that call in the marketing department?
Yeah, listen.
Yeah, we're going to sacrifice a few innocents to just kind of help promote.
A few. Yeah.
I'm going to listen. Guys, I say that, and I'm jokingly, but that was really bad on my part to say that. God,
listen,
forgive me.
All I know is, Jim, you have to announce to everybody if you're going to watch one. If you're watching one of those movies, please announce it so the next day I know not to go to Manhattan, please, or get on a plane.
Not to fly, not to go on a roller coaster, not to drive on the highway.
Not to leave the house, bro. You don't leave the house.
Track and not to cross on a bridge and not
anything.
To have a family barbecue or go on
have a barbecue, go on a train, get on a plane, whatever. Yeah. Don't even I'm not stepping outside the house.
No. And at this point, now you see one in the background, so pay attention. If there's a plane issue tomorrow, then you know I'm cursed because I said it. Okay, here's one plane in the background, and I hope to God there isn't. Please, nobody fly tomorrow. Please, anybody I know watching this. You should have
saw that coming.
Oh no!
The Punisher strikes again.
Oh, there he is.
Oh man!
Just because Devon Sawa was on the screen, so you know what? I got to do a pun about him.
That's good, man. I can't even hold on. I got to put on the old man spectacles to see what. Let's see.
The skeptical.
Yeah, Swift. I tell you, the last time I was on the Cyclone was over a decade ago. Oh yeah, right. Yeah, that's why I sit like this because of that ride, that one ride.
Yeah, bro. Listen,
I can't imagine what it's like now. I mean, like I said, it's been a decade or more since I was last on the Cyclone. I can't even imagine what it must be like now.
How many spins did it go through?
Woo! If they've done any maintenance, anything, is it still running? I don't even know. Is it still even running?
I'd be afraid to ask.
Well, listen, I'll tell you right now, man. The Cyclone, yes, I believe is still running. I believe it is. Swift will confirm that for me. Brooklyn.
Hey Google.
Oh, there you go.
Cyclone running?
I believe so.
Let's see.
We're gonna get a final answer. Was there any? Now, my question is.
Oh, hold on. Check this out. Yes, Coney Island up and running. It reopened in September 2024 after a brief closure for repairs. See, man. Now, where's the fun in that? That's no fun, man.
Yeah, no, we don't want no repairs.
Yeah, come on.
I mean, they finally maintenance years. That's great.
That's like a death wish or something.
Well, sometimes, let's say, sometimes just going to Coney Island at night can be.
Well, yeah, just going to Coney Island.
Wait, question: is that Mordor behind you, or is that the other tower?
Oh, that's Saruman.
Sauron, or that's Mordor? Sauron.
That's Saruman.
Saruman. Oh no, but the tower. Oh, it's his chair.
That's his chair. Yeah. Good eyeball, man. Good eye.
That was good. Yeah. See,
Yeah.
you know, this is what terrifies me. Like, even with the turbulence, like you see it right here, man. I was on a plane only twice, and it was down in Florida. Well, going down to Disney and then coming back. And man, when it hit turbulence, I needed to change my underwear, man. It was, yeah, because you know what it is? You're not in control. That's it. If you're going, you're done. You're done. If you're on the ground, you have a fighting chance. Okay? If you're that high up, maybe 1%.
You know what? I'm actually, and this is not just because car accidents happen more often. I'm more scared of car accidents than plane crashes. And actually, I've had turbulence, which got me scared in a plane. But I've been in car accidents, and that's scary too. Although those are more sudden, the turbulence lasts longer than a car accident. Is usually quick, but turbulence lasts longer, so it feels prolonged and therefore scarier. But a car accidents happen way more often, way more frequently, and way more likely to happen. And I'm more scared of that, except for the stuff in the news about planes crashing recently. I guess we know. So.
Yeah, statistically speaking, it's safe. It used to be safer to fly. I'm sure that still is the case, considering the amount of people that are on the road daily. But I think about 90 million of them are on the LIE every morning trying to go into the city where I'm trapped.
Oh boy. Yeah,
and I see the way people drive, and all it does is get me nervous.
Ooh, man.
Now, we're also, man, people are maniacs on the road too. It's getting worse too. Even around my area, I mean, we could talk about that. That's a whole other conversation. But people, they have no regard for their life or anybody else's. So it's crazy.
By the way, Jimmy, when I was on my way to work with Lauren in the movie I met you on, we saw a car with metal pipes strapped down like those logs. I took a photo somewhere when I was driving with Lauren.
Oh my God. Yeah, I see that. I see that pretty often out here, PA, which I just slow down and I just get all the way behind. Like it's something, man. It's just, you know, you think of that movie, you think, God, what if? And it's not only the log trucks; it's like the other trucks that are carrying, even like the sanitation truck, like stuff coming out over the top, the dump trucks and whatnot. It's like, what if something's in there?
No, they have the
trucks.
You have the trucks transporting acetylene tanks. I see all of that on the LIE. All of those commercial trucks that are heading into the city to make those deliveries. I see all of that shit, and I'm paranoid. I'm like, I got to get the fuck away from this thing as far as I can, because I'm not worried about myself. But if someone else, some other schmuck that's in a hurry, you know, crashes into that truck, boom, that's it. I'm going to be within the blast radius, and I'm gone.
Yo, it's like a nuclear explosion, man. I mean,
oh my goodness!
Dude, think about it. Go ahead, John. Go ahead. What were you saying?
I'm sorry. Yeah, sorry, Jim. You have a little bit of a delay. Your signal's a little busted up. So.
This thing is not. Yeah, connection's unstable. So am I. Damn it! You better fix it.
Tomorrow, I'm getting you that equipment.
That's if his computer doesn't kill him tonight. Premonition, because that's why it's acting up, because it's about to explode.
I hope those lights don't start to dim behind you. And
you froze, Jimmy.
We lost you, Jimmy. You froze.
All right, am I here?
All right. There he is. He's
now. You're good. You're better. You're better. You're much better now.
If you feel the slight breeze, just put some candles out. If you see them start to go out, and the lights start to dim or flicker.
Well, listen, you don't like this is what anything can happen when we're live, horror heads. This is what we're
speaking of that, Jimmy J. What size is that blazer, by the way? Just curious.
This one right here, I'll tell you, I like to think myself as a 4X. But
well, all right, I stuffed some padding under there. That's all.
You look a little more broad there, Johnny. You know, I've always wanted to study abroad, not abroad, but abroad.
Oh, boy.
Both. Why not both, eh? Right?
Exactly.
This guy.
Mama Swift. Log trucks are normal here.
South Carolina. Oh, boy. Yeah, par 3. Baked. Oh, the tanning bed. Yeah.
Oh, my God. Tony, that was.
Yeah. Fried Kentucky fried chicken. South Carolina fried chicken.
Oh my God. I mean, I remember those two girls were snobs, but they didn't deserve that. You know,
that was torture.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was torture.
I mean, maybe a 3rd-degree burn here or there, maybe on the butt, on the right, on the ass cheeks, but
you had like a fetish or something with burnt ass cheeks.
No, that's what. But it would have been funny, but to see them go like that, that was really that was one scene I couldn't wait to. Oh my God, that's one of the that absolutely is one of the worst, because in a lot of them it's instant, right? It's just bink, you cut in half, you exploded, whatever, you ripped apart. But in that one, man, they suffered.
No, listen, dude, 100%. You know, that was there's a lot of kills that were like torture, and that was one of them. And like I said, in the original was the other one when he got, you know, what's his name, got choked out in the tub. I was, oh man, that was hard to watch. I mean, some of the kills are hard to watch, and then some of it, like you're screaming at the TV, no, don't do this, no, what are you doing?
Want to know how I think my optimism goes, like, or my pessimism, whatever you want to call it, like. I think about the future. So, like, at least their parents have a body to bury. Some of these deaths, you don't have any remains to bury, or it's just mush or something.
Yeah, like, what are you gonna do?
There's nothing more depressing than that.
I mean, you gotta.
If you want to try to find any positive side out of the kids being destroyed.
Well, no, but it's more, no, not just kid, but like
closure.
Just, think about it. It's like you don't have anything to bury. Like, it's
one log truck in PA. No, man. Come on. Listen,
come
now
on.
you just messed it up.
Messing with us.
What it is right now is that I was on the road. You know what? I had this whole vision on 78. Okay, Route 78. And I had a vision because I seen an oversized load, right? The trucks with a house on the back. I'm thinking if this fucking house just comes off undone while he makes a wrong turn or it's a curve and that house comes off, man, it's going to be like a tornado hit the high. It's going to be a disaster. So I was like, all the way back, I was driving slow. People beeping at me. I'm like, oh, listen, I want everybody to get ahead of me. Just go ahead. Just go around. Put the hazards on. I'm not getting behind that guy. Or I'm going to just speed up and go around him.
Well,
because with my luck, as I'm speeding up, that's when the house is going to come off. Boom!
Your car's going to start to sputter.
You might not like oversized loads, but I know some girls who love oversized loads. I'm just saying.
Awesome, Tony. Man. Yeah, that's another great scene. The drive-through scene. Yep.
That was. I mean, come on. I mean, the guy was going to die anyway with the fast food. But
yeah, of course. We just sped up the process.
I'm like, oh, fucking spewing. I mean, that's the thing about these kills, and that's what I want to talk about with these kills, man. Well, all right, what is your favorite kill? Go down. Any one of you jump in, and everybody that's watching, your favorite Final Destination kill. I gotta know this.
Okay, well, I'm not going to say anything about what I saw tonight. No spoilers. But
if it
was
tonight,
definitely
it was tonight.
In Bloodlines, there's definitely a few good kills. Absolutely. Yes. Favorites? Go ahead, Gabe, if you have something in mind, because I'm trying to think.
Mine is also from Bloodlines. But because it was one of the, well, let's just say it has to do with a corkscrew-like event.
Yes. Yes, that was
a left field. Like, you knew it was there. Just the delivery of it was like so. It's like you don't know whether to be grossed out or laugh.
I did both. I did both. But you know what? You're right. That's a great point you make. One thing I got to say with all of these movies, the horizontal bars when she flips off. You're Tony. I'm glad you mentioned that because that is definitely one of my favorite scenes when.
This is the gymnastics.
The gymnast.
That was terrible.
The way she breaks in half and her leg, her
leg
bone.
It's over her. Yeah.
And the leg bone is sticking out, and the way she folds in half.
I can't watch that. I fast forward that scene.
Oh man, great mention, Tony, because that is definitely one of the best in my opinion. But one thing you mentioned before, Gabe, you mentioned something about you hate to see these things happen with children and stuff. And of course, for me, it's dogs and kids or kids and dogs. I'm not sure about the order, but one thing I know that kind of unsettled me a little bit with all of these movies is the fact that all of these kids are, I think they range from high school seniors to college seniors, right? If I'm not mistaken, I don't remember exactly, but
young adults.
Yeah, they're all. Right. I mean, if anybody knows for sure, but I think it ranges between 19 and 20 something.
The kid from the new one was just in the Chucky show, and he was like a pre-teenager then, so he's probably a high school kid now. And then with the kid in part 2, he was a high school kid.
Right. Yeah, so there you go.
Young adults,
they're young. It's kind of really sad, and most of them are seemingly good kids, so it makes it even harder. right? I mean, a couple of I mean, let's be honest, there are a couple. And I think in a lot of these movies, there's always a little
Well, I
bit
will tell you, there was one death. Hold on. There was one death in Bloodlines that towards the beginning.
I know what you're talking about.
Cheered. We were
Yes.
applauding
Yes.
and cheering and laughing because
Mhm.
that was one of the most satisfying. Okay, I'll take that back. That was the piano death, one of the most satisfying deaths in the entire franchise because you're just waiting to see how it's going to happen.
You're talking about from Bloodline?
Bloodline.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Opening at the beginning.
Ixnay on the piano, you know.
Yeah.
I think the ones that were the thing. I believe the viewers that haven't seen Bloodlines yet. I believe they are not on here anymore. So I listen. We'll just announce it now. So there's a couple things going on here. We're gonna give some spoilers out because I want to get into Bloodlines. That's what this is going to be about. So we're gonna talk about it. And we're discussing the franchise as a whole, but we're going to say some things that are going to be that happened in the film. So again, if anybody else that's on here, that if you don't want to know certain things, I mean, we're not going to give away too much, but there's
maybe we'll give an alert before we'll give a warning before.
But I want to say this though. There is we have to also, before we get into this, the whole mix up over here, because we're going to get Bloodlines. We're going to talk about some other things with Final Destination. We got to give a shout out because last week we're supposed to be on there. Joe D, the Ghost Chamber, he's our show sponsor. Joe's on right now. We're going to get him on here. He's going to talk a little bit about his product. It is actually absolutely incredible. I watched the video that he had showed me. I'm not big into paranormal, but I'm starting to get more into it. But Lawrence, our Prince of Paranormal, Lawrence Milano, he's heavy into it. And we were looking into this, but we're going to get Joe right now to the stage so we can talk a little bit with him, and then we're gonna get right back to Final Destination.
And Jim, then I want to hear if you have a favorite kill.
Oh yeah, well, you know what? We can say that real quick. My favorite kill, Miss Luton, and why? I mean, there's so many great kills, but in the franchise, and I enjoyed so many of them. But I think with this one, it was just like it was so long, and like you thought she was gonna make it, and I don't know. It was something about how it all was shot.
Was that the first one?
Which movie?
Original, the teacher in the house.
Oh, right.
Nice.
Gotcha.
Nice to her go, man. And yeah, Miss. I mean, I would say, it's kind of like a tie too because there's so many great.
There's so many great ones. So many great ones.
Definitely the one, the drive-through you were saying. That's another one that got me. The one in Bloodlines. I'm going to say this one. It's the one that also happened with the corkscrew, Gabe.
The machine.
Yeah, and the MRI
machine.
Yeah, holy shit, man.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, that was brutal.
Spoiler alert.
But you know what I loved about that they psyched out on his death twice before they went there.
Yeah, I mean, you know what they did? I didn't know. See that when he explained it's going to get messy. Then that it really did. You know what? I knew something was going to happen after you started seeing, like, okay, the glass cracked here. So I was just trying to figure out what did this have to do with the room, and that's being closed. But when she opened the door, I'm like, oh shit, I already knew it was coming. But the way this guy went into the oh god.
How about the piercings first? Ooh, spoiler alert!
Yeah,
spoiler alert.
He wasn't even supposed to. He wasn't even supposed to die.
Right. That's the twist to the plot, man. That goes to show you that nobody's safe. If you're trying to intervene, no one is safe. Doesn't matter.
Everybody's going to get it. And that's why we're going to talk about, because there are some things about Bloodlines I didn't like, and I want to get into that after we get Joe Woodley. Yeah,
okay.
It's a little hot take here on this one, but we'll get into this.
About to get steamy up in here.
Well, let's get Joe D on right now. Let's get Joe.
Right.
Joe D, here he goes. Vent of the Ghost Chamber. My man, how are you? I'm so sorry, Joe, because last week we were going to have you on. We were going to be talking about it. That was my fault. I sent the link to a different email, so I didn't even send it to you. So that's my apologies, man. But thank you for coming on. Thank you for taking the time.
Hey, Joe.
With us.
Go, man.
I'm a fan.
I appreciate it. And I wanted to give you the floor right now because, first of all, we all over here, Horror 365, we appreciate you being one of our show sponsors and, coming on board. And this product, this invention that you created, and I was looking into it even more, man, it is unique. It's incredible, too. And one of the paranormal guys on my team was, I don't know if he purchased it yet, but he's definitely looking into using your product. So explain to everybody out here exactly what Ghost Chamber is.
Did you get a chance to use it?
No, I did not yet.
Yeah,
I got what you see. I have what you mailed me, but it's not. It's at a different location at the moment.
Okay.
But I did receive it.
Okay. Send me a picture or something if you do start using it. Guys, this is like groundbreaking technology. I accidentally came across it because I worked on a show called with the Tennessee Wraith Chasers called Ghost Asylum. It's we are investigating haunted asylums. We did about 30 episodes. They smart guys, but it's like rednecks trying to catch ghosts. So it's a little bit funny. It got bad ratings, but please, anybody who hears this, ignore that and just watch it. It's called Ghost Asylum. There's like 3 years of it. But I was behind the scenes creating stuff for them and helping them out and showing them how it worked and getting involved in it. It's like the Harlem Globetrotters, though, behind the scenes, because we were always doing something. And then it was next to shoot another episode, so we couldn't really get the evidence that we were actually getting. So this led up to it from all the way from research at MIT and stuff like that. So it's a resolution thing. Most people are getting bad resolutions when you see ghosts, so no one really believes it. Okay. And it's there's a timing involved. If you guys ever saw the movie Interstellar with, they spend a half an hour on this other planet, and on Earth, 17 years pass. It's like the saddest thing if you really think about it.
Yeah.
Like, I want to be an astronaut after seeing that. But so just think, if I'm in my body as a ghost and I leave, my time's different because I have different mass. And that's what's going on. No one's ever really put this together with ghosts, okay? But our team, all the people I worked with, I just fell into the idea of we're missing something scientifically that deals with ghosts. So that's kind of my expertise. Is I'm using science still to do it, then trying to figure out where's the missing link. And I think I found it a little bit, but I made this really for you guys, for ghost hunters, for people who are still investigating this stuff, because now that you can see the ghosts better, you know they're there. You're going to see in the next few years some crazy science going on. So,
Joe, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
So how do you actually see? Is it an image of like a 3-dimensional image? Like what is it that you actually like? How do you see it? Well, the entity, if I'm explaining it right.
Yeah. So I'm sorry too. I tangent off on things, so keep me on track. Okay. So this is the ghost chamber right here. It's like a telescope, but for ghosts. Inside this tube is a lens in there. I'm trying to show it right on camera.
Yep, we got it. That's good. Yep, right there. Yep, perfect.
Dark. Then I'm going to take this. There's nothing in that tube, by the way. It's just tube. And that's the lens up close.
Okay.
It's a transparent lens.
Wow. Okay.
But it has a special property. Semi-transparent is a good property also for this. But the most special thing is the idea that it has a short reflective focal length. So anything past a foot, you can't see. It's just light. It's just like solid light, right? Okay. But closer, when something comes close to it, you can actually see the image really good. So it's like that's the trick here for ghosts, is if they get up close to it on purpose, and they do that, you'll see their image. Okay. So another cool thing about this is they have to be small to get in there, and that concentrates their energy. This is all theory, but I'm pretty sure I'm right about that. So to get in there, they have to concentrate their energy, so we'll see them better. Okay. So I put a cap on it that has black. So black and silver make a, does anybody know? Mirror.
A mirror, okay.
Yeah. So it's actually making a mirror in there. So it reflects back really good.
Thank you, Mama Swift, for that, throwing it up there. Ghost Asylum. I appreciate that. Okay.
It's transparent. So anti-static. So, you know, there's a lot of gadgets that detect static when you're ghost hunting. So I put that idea to work there too. So I think it catches the ghost's attention, or they could work with it better, but it gives them structure, I think, to bounce off of this thing. So all of that combined, in the front, you just lay your phone there, okay? You'll lay your iPhone there or your Android, and it just sits in that cradle. We're trying to make it better, but that's the best because people will change angles on this thing, and your phone has to be angled a little bit. So you kind of have to hold it, but it looks like it's all 3D printed and stuff. So you can make a better holder yourself if you want, or something like that. So it works right away also. So you record for about a minute, and what you're doing, it has the two. Have you guys heard of the double slit experiment?
Okay.
Has two slots for light to pass through. Okay. So light will come in, and somehow they're affecting the photons. Still don't know how. I'm not that crazy of a scientist, but I want all college kids to start doing this for their finals. Figure it out, because this is like a whole new age of science. Basically discovered ghosts with this, like officially. So that's kind of what we're doing with advertising here.
Now, Joe, I got a question for you. How many have you seen? How many images have you been able to capture?
Every day an image. A lady asked me to talk to her dead brother yesterday, so we put it up, and I got 2 good photos. It's on my Facebook Reels. So if you guys could do like Facebook Reel and look at all the stuff I got, those are like my best favorite ones.
Share your Facebook so I can pop it. We can pop it in the comments right now. What is offhand? Because I have you on there, but what was your Facebook? Well, Joe, under Joe Damari, or is it?
I'll put it under
comment. Yeah, if you want to pop it in the comments.
Just a second.
Get that.
Joe, while you're doing that, I have a question.
Go ahead.
So, you know, we're talking about Final Destination.
Yeah.
Can I use your device to see death when it's coming?
Yeah.
Yes. That was good, John. Yeah, I would love.
We would be honored. You guys, we'll send a free one out. Just do it. Do what you need to do. But this stuff is like no joke. I think I posted it, Jimmy, in the comments, my Facebook link.
He put it in the private chat, Jimmy.
Oh, it's private chat? Okay, I got it. Let me see if I can take this and
just copy it and paste it. Or
let me see. Yeah, you're right, Gabe. Let me see. I think this is it. Let me see if I can do that.
Most people have been conditioned to they're biased, okay? So it's not a bad word, but just clear your head when you use this. It's not your imagination making this stuff up. And why I say that is because I have a condition called something with an A, but I don't have an imagination. I see black when I close my eyes. So that's what makes me kind of like the lead person on this, because I'm not imagining nothing. I'm a scientist. I want to see data. I want to see a real face. I want to see hair on this ghost, right? So I'm seeing that, and that's what kind of captured my attention. I was like, we need to make this more. So I put it in a tube, and the tube is science because it's blocking everything else out. So if something shows up in that tube, a human figure, we got ghosts. So there's no question.
I ain't afraid of no ghosts.
Look like a human.
I ain't afraid of no ghosts. I'm ready to rock. I got the Ghostbusters by my side, and this is the team right here. And especially with you at the head of it, yeah, I'm not scared of anything. You're leading the way, Joe. This is now Ghost Chamber. Where I got the links, we're gonna pop. I've been putting it in the description for people to check out for themselves because it is quite remarkable. and I know a lot of times people are going to say, well, how do you know this is real, like a real entity? And that's why I was even asking, like, if there's, I know you have some proof, some footage, some reels also on Facebook. So I popped the link up in the chat, and I'm going to post in the comments also the link for the ghost chamber. Now, is there anything else that people should know about using this device? And you said you have to put the phone, right by the lens, right over there by the lens, and it captures.
Yeah, the lens of the phone just lays right in there like that.
Okay.
And then you turn on your regular camera. I got something out there called Ghost Camera. It amplifies light and motion. It's from the MIT stuff I worked on. That combined with that is just insane. But I just tell people, just use your regular camera. Then when you get a reflection, you got to remember time dilation. Okay, you're in your head, you just see a reflection. So you need to slow it down. And how you do that with a video, it's called scrubbing. So we have a recommended program that I say on there, but you can get any program. It's called a video scrubber, and you go through it one video frame at a time. Okay. That's how you slow it down so you can look at it. So you got to look at these reflections, and the ghosts are reflecting. They figured it out somehow how to do it. I don't know, but the instructions come with it, so it kind of tells you that. But you got to be patient. It's like smelling the roses. You got to smell your video and just analyze it and go through it one frame at a time. A lot of people are biased and impatient, and they just think everybody's crazy. So they're going to miss it. They're going to miss the joy of this. But you can get what you were asking for. This is the craziest thing. So I'm into remote viewing too. I've seen like deserts and different scenery in there. So I'm still freaked out about it. But you can remote view things with this. So it's got so many applications. And if you can figure out how to talk with the ghosts, my ghost camera can do it because it's analyzing shades of light. Then I cross-reference a dictionary with it. So they're changing shades of light in the dictionary. They'll talk back, but it's one word at a time, and I hate it. But a picture is worth 1,000 words. So if you can say, what's my life going to look like in 20 years? I haven't tried that one yet, but maybe it'll show you a good scene, hopefully. Children or something like that, you'll see shit like that. And it's the best, guys. So I can't talk enough about it. So I just want everybody to try it. And to all the film people, you'll get a free one. You just ask for a free one if you're going to put it in something and use it. So I can send out free ones because we make them here. So, and they're, I don't know. I just want you to try and be patient with it and look at those reflections. You're going to be amazed at what you're getting.
Yeah. So you know what? I'm actually going to be trying it on Saturday. I'm going to take a video. Somebody filming me just putting this together and trying it and giving it a shot. So I'm going to, see if I see something. But if I come out and I'm like the little boy from The Sixth Sense, I'm going to let everybody know I see it. It's going down.
I can't wait to check out your reels, Joe.
Yeah.
Check out the reels.
I appreciate, Joe. I really appreciate this. This is definitely something different. And I want to test this out. I'm excited to test it out. I believe in spirits. I've slept in a legit haunted house before, in Hell House. One of our team members, Lawrence, knows he was filming there. The energy is there. We had all these different devices. It's real. So this is interesting to see what I'm going to see. So I don't know, but I'm going to come report to you, Joe.
Okay. And I can make a big one of this too, like human size. So we started out that way, but we're like, this is more friendly for a ghost hunter. So
okay. Well, listen, we appreciate it taking the time, and I'm going to have all the socials up on there about Ghost Chamber, and I want them to check out your reels, and we're going to pop this in the description as well, Joe. I appreciate it. I'm going to report, like I said, back to you after I test this out over the weekend, and I'm going to let you know. I'm going to get that video filmed as well, and hopefully we'll pop it up here next week.
Hey, Joe, is that a cat in your postal carrier, or you have an apparition behind you?
It's actually both.
Oh.
Just from my research, but yeah, there's a cat there.
Okay, I was going to say you might want to turn your machine around because there's something going on behind you.
John, your lights were going off.
Lay
Too.
down.
It was wild.
Ooh.
Yeah. But Joe, thanks so much, brother. I appreciate you taking the time explaining this to us, and we're gonna test it out. I'm gonna have the video next week. I want to see what I see, and I'm telling you, man, I'm gonna report if I see dead people, Joe, and I can't sleep. I don't know, man.
You got to be patient with the reflections and ask. You got to be sincere and ask for something like that you want to see. Test it out. Say, I want to see my grandma. Give me a high five or something. You know, you're gonna see it.
Really? Oh my God! All right. Well, I'm excited now to see this.
Well, if the success rates are high, you might have one in every home.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Do I say I want to see Joe's grandma or my grandma?
My grandma probably
either one, maybe
first, because she's like that. But.
Oh, man, I'll tell you. I don't want to see any grandma. I seen a grandma in a chair when I was 7 years old. Her eyes lit up like the Predator, and I'll never forget it. But anyway, call me crazy. But it's the truth. But Joe, thanks, man. We're gonna get back. Final Destination. Joe DeMari. Check him out.
So long, Joe.
Thanks so much.
Pleasure,
Very
man.
interesting. Thank you.
All right. So
yeah, Joe.
It's cool.
If he's got a lot of stories to share, we should do an episode.
Yeah.
Just with him sharing this.
I gotta see this. I mean, I like right now. I want to go check out the reels on there. So, but yeah, Joe, we were supposed to have him on last week, and I fumbled. So that's why we're throwing him in the middle. I'm like, oh shoot, he texts me. I'm like, there it is. Remind me. So
why don't you if you have the machine with you, why don't you set it up behind you right now while we're live?
I was gonna do that, but
let's see.
I had it shipped. I had it shipped to my father's house over here. So he got it over there because I was going to see him anyway for his. It gave me a reason. 65th birthday's this weekend. I got to go see him in Mass, but why I'm giving his location here. But yeah, I was telling both of you guys, you're from New York.
Sorry, guys, I'm too busy watching Final Destination from behind Jimmy.
Okay, yeah, there. Final Destination. So I think what we left off was kills. I mean, yeah, favorite kills over here.
You really do have the whole movie playing behind you.
Dude, I'm not even, this is what we're doing.
Oh, yeah, there's Alex.
When we're talking movies, I want to have it in the background, or at least something from whatever franchise playing back there. So we talk favorite part and kill, but let's get to Bloodlines, okay? This is what everybody's been.
Hold on, Jim, your favorite. You were going to share your favorite kill.
Oh, no, I did earlier. I was talking about Miss Boot, and I said there's so many different kills.
That was your okay, that's your favorite.
First movie, The Teacher.
Yeah, the teacher.
Okay.
It was so long, and it's like it's inevitable. She's gonna die. Like you try to save her so many times, it wasn't happening.
Gotcha.
In the fucking house blowing up. So funny. What's his name? Came Stifler. He came over there after. Yeah, he's like, hey, Devin Sauer's character. See, I'm horrible with names. And the way he came on the bicycle and then the fucking house exploded, that was funny.
But you always remember Stifler, though, right?
Oh, absolutely.
You can always remember that name and that character.
One movie he played a loser in. Everything else not the only movie, but like he's always like a douchebag or some high and mighty on himself.
Womanizing kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what? You know who going back to the original right here because it's playing in the background. The jock dude. Oh, he deserved it. I wish he would have died sooner. You know,
the Jack dude?
The jock, yeah, the jock.
Yeah.
I wish he would have died sooner, man. When he finally got hit when they were in they made it to Paris and they hit with the board at the end of the movie. Yeah, he should have got that.
Yeah, but you know what? You got to give him points for having a cool car.
Okay. All right.
Because I had a 70 SS Nova, which I actually had a Final Destination moment with it when I got wrecked. So, but seeing him driving that Nova, I don't know if it's a very similar year to the one I had. I was like, oh man, I was getting nervous again because I mean, granted, I don't have that car. That car was totaled. People thought I was dead when they saw that car when I had that accident. But
welcome, David. What's going on? Welcome. Yeah, but John, tell me about this accident. I got to hear this. What did you find on this?
I'll share them quick because I can get on a roll and we'll be here all night.
Don't worry about that, man. I got to hear
it. I had a 70 SS Nova that was worked for bracket racing, and 4th of July, 30 somewhat years ago, I'm right around the corner from my house too.
Oh,
Statistically speaking, most people get into car wrecks within a half a mile of their home.
Yeah.
So it just worked out convenient for me that when I wrecked, it was right in front of the firehouse, so they didn't have to go far. I was very considerate, really the drunk asshole who hit me. So anyway, so I'm driving through, and this guy runs a stop sign, broadsides me. I go flying into a parked van. I spin around and I hit 2 other cars.
Oh my God.
So now during this whole time, it actually felt like a scene in a movie where I didn't lose consciousness, but everything went to a dull mute, and
like the sound just stops. Everything.
Yeah, so when they do that stuff in the movie, like when everything goes quiet and everything's a blur, that actually happened to me. So, and then once we stopped spinning, and I was just kind of like in shock, and I'm looking around, and I knew I had been hit, and so the driver's side roof was crushed down, and I couldn't open the door. So I had to climb out of the passenger side window.
God.
And so all I remember was that telling myself, get out of the car, it's going to explode, get out of the car.
Oh my God.
And I remember just getting out of the car, and the first person there was one of the firefighters. He just put my hand on my chest, was holding me up, and said, "Don't move, you're bleeding." And I don't even remember any of that. I didn't even remember. I had my arm was cut open, my knee was cut open. I had been hit in the head, and that goes to explain a lot, right?
Thank God you're here, man. That could have been.
Yeah, it was. And now imagine on 4th of July in Brooklyn, and everybody knew my car. Everybody knew this car, 70 SS Nova, electric blue.
Man,
everybody thought the worst for a while.
Well, when my neighbors, they had to flatbed the car, they couldn't tow it because the drive shaft was on the floor. And my neighbors saw the car. I remember our neighbors came over, were crying to my mother and everything. They thought I was dead. They thought I was dead. And so, yeah, it was not a fun experience, man. I could tell you that.
Can I tell you something? I work with a charity where a lot of the people involved drive these fancy sports cars to surprise kids at hospital events, and Make-A-Wish Foundation, NYPD, fighting cancer, charity events. One of the guys who's involved in it, nicest guy, his name is Brian Salomon. He has these reflective sports cars. He got like a wrap that's like reflective. And his car was actually in the movie Free Guy with Ryan Reynolds.
Oh, okay.
He was driving the car. They were coming back from an event. I missed the event. Somebody nicked him, coming very fast. His car went flying into the side. This was flat sport went flying into the side of the highway, whatever. There was an explosion. If his girlfriend or wife was sitting in the right side seat, she would have been gone. But thankfully, she wasn't with him that day. But he was burnt terribly. He's doing great now, thankfully. But imagine being in that car when it goes flying and hits and explodes. And
you know what? Like I said, I everything went silent, and when that happens, you're saying, I'm like, well, why me? But instead, you realize it could have been so much worse, because when he hit me, the way he hit me, if it would have been on the driver's side, I probably would have had broken legs, hips. Who knows? I could have maybe would have been killed. And so, considering the amount of impacts and everything that happened, they were saying I got away from it. Granted, I was stitched up, my arm, my leg, I had injuries and stuff, scrapes and stuff from the glass. But they were looking at the car and seeing you still in one piece and moving around, even though very slowly. They were like, count your blessings. And also because the car was all steel and it was beefed up and had had a chassis connectors and everything.
That's what
several people
saved. I think
helped save a lot. Yeah, helped me a lot. Helped shield me a lot. And also, several people had said if you were driving a small compact car,
oh, dude,
it might have been a lot worse.
Yeah,
so.
I mean,
20 years ago, my mother was in a terrible car accident where if you looked at the car, you'd wonder how anybody could walk away from it.
Yeah, I mean,
but Subarus are some of the strongest cars. I'm only sticking to a Subaru after it saved my mother's life.
Yeah.
Our insurance guy, who's also our family friend, took one look at the accident of the car and straight out and swapped his car for a Subaru.
Wow.
Right
Yeah.
out, swapped his
They're
car for a
very,
Subaru.
very
Right
good
after
safety
that.
record Subarus. But Jim, I'll send you the photos. I actually have the photos of the car.
Yeah, I got to see that. That's wild, guy. John, thank you for sharing that too.
And then I'll tell you one other quick thing that happened.
Yeah.
This was actually more.
Just,
I love that, Amelia.
Oh,
that's great.
Nice.
We're gonna get to Bloodlines, guys, right after this one. Johnny, Tony says a lot of power those cars have. I worked on a lot of them.
Yeah. So Tony, this car, I actually got it from a woman in Brooklyn who won it from her husband, who was, he was a grease monkey and used to go race it in Englishtown, New Jersey. And so she got it in the divorce and I bought it from her. So it was a worked LT1 350 for, like I said, for bracket racing, very heavy cam. Anyway, it was, but the thing is, I had Flowmaster mufflers. So even sitting at a light, it sounded like I was speeding, but I was actually going from my girlfriend at the time, from her house to my buddy Phil's house to pick up a few people to bring them to the party. And I wasn't speeding at all. I just went through the light, the intersection, got a little momentum.
He ate the stop sign. Yeah.
Yeah. So with my forward momentum and then his momentum, the combined, those impacts is what sent me flying all around the place. And I don't understand how nobody, I could tell that, well, I couldn't tell, but people could tell. They had said they could smell alcohol on this kid. And so anyway, whatever. It's a whole different time. Like I said, it was 30 plus years ago. Really? It wasn't even worth it. Everything that happened, I couldn't work for a while. All that whole shit. The amount of money I ended up settling on through the insurance after 4.5 years wasn't even. I would have still loved to have my car and get it painted and finished fixing it up. And the only other incident I had, which reminds me of this movie, is I'm on the Northern State eastbound coming home one time.
Okay. And
the divider in between is you have the eastbound and westbound 3 lanes.
Yeah.
And so in between there's the concrete barrier. So I'm driving east, I'm on the highway. It had been after a couple of days of rain. All of a sudden so I'm traveling east, westbound is this way. A tree just collapses as I'm past. Now it's on the other side, but as I'm driving past it, at the same exact time, this whole tree just collapses across all 3 lanes on the westbound Northern State Parkway. And so what happens is all that debris hits the concrete divider and it also hits the back of my truck as I'm driving by. And so I immediately, I was like, what the? And so my point of saying all of these things, and obviously, of course, the whole point of these movies and jumping ahead a little bit to what, Tony Todd's final lines in this movie in in Bloodlines. I won't say word verbatim, but it basically says, appreciate life every day because you never know when it's going to be over. And so I learned those things all of those times. Each time those things happen, you forget because you get caught up in the day to day. And then because some of that debris hit my truck, and I can't even imagine. And it was thankfully nobody at that exact moment, because if somebody would have been under that tree when it fell, it would have been one of those scenes. It would have been. It was horrible. And I called in 911 right away. Blah, blah, blah. You got to get emergency services over there. Hopefully everybody stopped in time. But anyway, so that was my real life final destination, close call. More than the accident. I mean, the accident was the accident. I guess if I was meant to die, I still wouldn't be here talking to you right now because it's been 30-something years. Unless death is just having some fun with me, that wants to see me suffer some more.
Well, just don't pull us into your next premonition.
Yeah, that's it. No, but you know what? Listen, I got to say, what Tony said was so real. And, that was my favorite part of the film. Because of, you got to think about it, right? Real life, what he was going through, and then his passing. And you have to, John, to your point and what Tony said, you have to appreciate it. We get so caught up in everyday hustle and bustle. And when things happen, like we hear somebody that we love or we know that passes away, it puts things into perspective. It has us thinking about what's really important. Because at
That's
the
the
end
whole
of the day,
of this franchise.
Yes.
Right? That's the whole premise. Is
Well,
that
That's the whole point of, like, that's why I love the Saw movies. They saved my life in that way a lot. The whole Jigsaw's underlying message, everything's about appreciating life, valuing your loved ones, forgiveness, like not just valuing life, but valuing the blessings, counting the blessings you have in life, and not taking advantage of others and taking it away from others.
well,
So,
yeah, and that's a good point with Saw as well, and it's true because, like, you know, it's short. Any given moment, anything can happen, and you're gone. And you ask yourself, and a lot of times, and I've known when I've done EMS, I've talked with patients that were very, very sick, hospice patients. I have had people that I know that were on the way out. And, you know, you talk with them and they start thinking about the things that they could have done, the things that they should have done, and the regrets. You know, I should have spent more time with family. I should have. You don't want to feel that. You don't want to feel. So it's like, you know, no matter what you're going through right now, no matter what's happened, everybody's going through something. Everyone, no matter what it is. So I always tell everybody, and I started to live like this too. Just respect everybody. Respect everybody you come across, because you never know even if they have an attitude, listen, you don't know what they're dealing with. So, you know, respect everybody, treat people the way you want to be treated, and also appreciate everything. Take time for yourself, take time for your family, take time for your loved ones, because you snap your fingers, man, you can get some bad news the same day. And you don't want to live with that regret. You know, I know it's cliche, but I'm telling you, you know, we go about it like we think about it, and then we go right back into the same system. We go right back into, hey, I'm gonna go where, and then we hear something else bad. It's like, oh shit. You have to make the time, and you have to do what you love to do. And you have to do what you love, John. I mean, and Gabe. And hold on, we have somebody here. Hey, what's going on?
Hey,
Siberia in the building.
Oh man.
You know, it's funny because I said last week, I said you must be somewhere in Siberia. And literally,
and they literally are, man. What's the
Siberia?
You know, I got to know what the temperature is over there. What's the temperature over there in Siberia?
What time is it in Siberia? If you can, type your name in there. I don't want to get it confused. Type your name because it's coming up as something different. But Siberia's in the building.
Nice.
I do want to mention at the end of Final Destination 5, you had at the very end, you hear Tony Todd's voice. You all just be careful now.
Mm-hmm.
In the like right before the credits, when you do the montage, and they're like, "You all just be careful now."
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And you know, one, you know, Jim, to your point, one very simple phrase that I've heard of, I share with you, is to your point, is one day or day one.
Yeah.
Right. So we talk about procrastination and stuff like that, and I'll get to it later. One day. Think about that. It's very simple and very meaningful. One day or day one with question mark. And it's true. Are you going to do what it's like you have plans to do something? And we're all guilty of that because we get caught up. I'm going to get to it next week, next month, next year. Or you're going to do that shit today. And that's really what the whole, again, watching these movies makes you realize, I got to get on that bucket list. I got to get back to that bucket list and start doing these things. And you know what? Even smallest, simple things that make you smile every day. Because if you can't, if you don't have things that get you out of bed, get you going, make you smile, make you happy. You know, I love hearing my Johnny Sparks intros. Got my Jimmy J alarm clock. So for me, I'm out the door, baby. But anyway, just a little sappy, sentimental thing.
Some of us have a bucket list in addition to a bucket list.
Well, whatever floats your boat, whatever tickles your fancy. I mean, no, but you know, look. Oh, Gabe, what is it? What's on the list? Oh man,
no, I was making a joke.
Let's keep it clean. Family show. No,
I was not going there, dude. You made it dirty. I was just saying.
No,
but you know, man, and you're right. Like watching Final Destination.
Hey, listen, I see that stuff behind you on your wall, man. And when you say bucket list, I'm thinking one thing. So, you know,
that's a different bucket list.
Jeez. I can tell. Well, when I think of bucket list, I'm thinking KFC for some reason. I don't know, but no, seriously.
Well, and I'm going to say this. I'm going to go out there and say, everybody put Final Destination Bloodline on your bucket list because it was excellent.
Chuck it
list. And if you were DX,
Chuck it list.
you're on the suck it list. Anyway, all my wrestling fans.
Dude, Tony, don't say that out loud because my wife has a huge chuck it list of all my shit she wants to get rid of. So
okay.
Well, all wives do. All wives do.
Yep, I hear it now. But no, she's but
Uh-oh.
I'm not married. Thank God. Thank God I'm not married. I have no kids, and I have no kids that I know of.
Pros and cons.
You know,
it's pros and cons. Pros and cons to everything, Gabe. Don't worry.
I know.
Maybe one day you'll.
I took so much Adderall once. I once took so much Adderall. I made a pros and cons list about pros and cons.
Okay, there it is. Well, we got on the final destination. Getting back because I know we haven't yet. An hour 20 minutes. We're
going. Speaking of running off the rails, here we go, baby.
Yeah, we're on this coaster right here. So but this is what it is. This is what Final Destination. It's psychological horror at its finest, and some of them obviously better than others. I know we didn't touch more on 4 and 5. It's been a while since I've seen 4 and 5. And 5 had a lot of good kills in there. I know that, but just thinking about the whole concept, the fact that any day could be your day, and can you escape it? And like the design, like what's the blueprint? And everybody wonders, how are we gonna go? And most of us is like, yo, listen, I want to go in my sleep. I want to go down gunfire. Action movie. That's like everybody. I want to go down like a hero in some capacity. Or
serious question.
There was a firefight.
But think about it, because
would you want to know? That's the thing. Would you want to know if you could know?
No, see, that's the question. Because would you want to know when your time is and how you're going to go? No,
that's the $1 million question.
I don't want to know. I don't want to know, because what's going to happen is this: if I don't know how I'm going to go, but I know when it gets closer, I'm going to get like the ultra anxiety. Well, maybe I would want. Yeah, give me a date or give me a month, because I'm going to make sure that whole month I'm Ric Flair. I'm drinking. I'm going to be drunk the whole month until it happens.
Just don't get locked up, because then you spend your last month sitting in prison as Ric Flair.
No, I'm on the run, baby. And then shoot me down, baby. That's it.
All right, so here's
you'll have a plane fly right into that prison, right on top of you.
Yeah, right. I'm like, hey, I can't die. I mean, I'm locked up.
Don't worry, we'll break you out, brother. Don't worry, we'll get you out of there. No worries.
Get out of Alcatraz. No,
you got a bone shank. Somebody's gonna.
Oh, come on, jeez. Oh, not a way to go. I mean, you didn't might get that, but anyways, switch in a different capacity. So, Bloodlines. Here we go. Final Destination Bloodlines. I gotta say this. If anybody, I know we have Amelia just came out of the theater. Okay, I gotta know what you're thinking of this film, of Final Destination Bloodlines. Anybody else in here? Comment in here.
Yeah, what did you think?
Space Mountain. By the way, speaking of which, Tony, it's the oldest ride has the longest line. Anyone could be next, but none of you could be first, Tony. I'll tell you right now, it's Space Mountain. Oh, yeah, we know. Sex, Mrs. knows. But anyway, what we're talking about, Bloodlines here, we're going to get right back on the subject. I thought when I walked into this film, I was like, it's 25 years of Final Destination. I don't know if I can see anything else that I haven't seen already, and I was wrong. So they talk about this opening sequence, and for those of you who haven't watched it, it's just right now, just take note that this is going to be some spoilers here. The opening sequence, it's prom. I believe it's a prom. Is it a prom?
No. It's a grand opening of the Sky Needle.
Oh, gee, yeah, the Sky View. Yes, please. Thank you.
And it was what, 1950 something or 60 something, right? 60s, yeah.
60s, because the Motown, the music that they had going.
Yeah. Man, we should have been playing that music, Jim.
Oh, don't worry, that's the
make me wanna.
Hey.
A little bit softer now. A little bit softer now. A little bit higher now. Yeah. But I remember that whole sequence was great.
Absolutely.
It was the build to it, right?
Yeah.
So the build to it, it was like it was a slow burn, though. but you started seeing like little pieces, and you notice like when the thing hit in the glass cracked, I'm like, oh boy. I'm like, yeah, this is not going to end well. But it built anxiety. I got anxiety watching the scene because it was so long to happen. And then with the whole penny over the top, and the kid was going to throw the penny, and the guy's like, hey, be careful, you can kill somebody. Killed many. I mean, not just one.
Yeah.
But think about the odds of that penny and what happened. You know, when it just going right back in.
And for decades, it sat around just waiting to
Yeah,
strike
and if you
again.
think about it, that penny is what caused the entire thing in the first place.
Yeah,
And
that's right.
hold on. In the
ended it.
beginning
And
and the
ended it.
end. In the beginning and the end, yeah.
And the end, yeah.
Yeah, it just.
Dude,
it
I'm not sure I
followed.
don't have
It
any
was a
pennies
bloodline.
in my pocket. Shit, I'm getting rid of it.
Somebody actually pointed out something in part, which is the one with the woman gets her head stuck in the thing in the car wash. She was.
Oh yeah. That was that the second or third one?
Somebody, third or fourth. Somebody takes a penny and throws it throws it at. Oh no, something like where she throws something at the birds. Like somebody throws a penny at the birds, and the birds poops on her car window.
Yes.
And then
that was what prompts her to go to the car wash.
Yeah.
Somebody threw a penny into the street.
Yes.
That scared the bird.
Yeah.
And
was it a penny?
it was
so that was a homage.
coin. It might have been a penny.
Yeah,
Oh,
with
yeah,
the bird.
if it was.
When the glass shattered on the kid and poured.
But this was a different one. That was
No.
This is where there was a penny. Somebody threw a penny or dropped a penny and scared the birds away, and one of the birds pooped on her.
On the car, okay, yeah.
Right. She's driving the car, so that prompts her to go to the car wash where she gets remember she's going through it and her head is stuck in the sunroof.
Yeah.
And the water's because
she's drowning, she can't get out.
Yeah.
And then it closes on her neck.
Oh God. Oh jeez. Yeah.
Does she survive that in the end? Didn't somebody save her from that? I forget.
Well, yes, they come in through the front of the car wash and stop her from hitting the brushes.
Right.
They push her back, but then shit, I'm trying to remember what happened. I don't think she made it out of there.
No.
Oh, okay.
If I remember, maybe somebody in the comments remembers exactly what the outcome of that scene was. But Jim, see, that's the thing with all of these movies, right? This is what I love about it. It's even when you see the premonition and you know what's going to happen again, you still have so much anxiety. And it's it's coming.
Yeah.
And you're still sitting there like, when is it going to happen? When is it going to happen? And all of the kills, right? It's like, something's about to happen. There's this buildup. And some take a little longer than others. And I love the cinematography. I love the perspectives that they catch of the way that the lead up to the kills and when the kills happen and the camera angles. It's really done very well, I find, in every one of the movies.
Yes.
And so for me, that anticipation, the buildup, what's happening. You know that person's next, and it's like you can never escape it because you're. So I was gonna say, like you watch these movies like Friday the 13th, Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, and you see the antagonist, you see the threat, and as long as you're not anywhere near that threat, you're okay.
Yeah.
But with this, no matter where you are, so the threat is everywhere and nowhere at the same time. And it's like I can't even imagine what those kids were going through in those movies. Like you never know. It could be a day, could be a week, could be 3 weeks, could be 6 months.
You saw what Bloodlines did. Every time there was about to be some crazy scene, they had a Dutch angle shot.
Yeah.
Like when the guy was fake screwing the truck, like, you see everything's being done in Dutch angle. And then there's constantly, and then even at the last scene, when you come into the establishing shot, it's Dutch angle.
Oh, I didn't know it was called the Dutch angle, but now I do.
Yeah. The diagonal type of angle.
Okay. But yeah, all of those perspectives, right? Between the lead up, the kills, everything. Oh, she got saved, and they cut to the guy who's
yeah.
Now that guy, I gotta say, he kind of
got his ass handed to him.
Yeah, he kind of had it coming because he was one of those dick womanizing kind of, like it's one of those guys that you were like, all right, I could take him getting.
But by the way, I don't know if you realize, somebody pointed this out. that Iris, if she never got killed, if she never stepped, like she realized, like she wanted to, seeing is believing, so she let herself die. If she never stepped outside and never died, because she was dying of cancer, so she knew she was going to go either way.
Yeah.
But if she died of cancer, then I don't know if that.
Well, think about this, Gabe. Think about the treachery of okay. So let's say Death. We identify the villain, the antagonist as Death. Right?
No, but let me finish saying, like, if she never walked outside, that's
true.
That whole
but think about why she did.
Domino effect never would have happened.
Right, but think about why she did, why that whole thing took place. Because think about how treacherous Death is. So the granddaughter is having these nightmares, and that whole process leads her to find her and bring her out after all of those decades. So that's the thing. What I'm saying is like
now he's like, you know what? I finally have something that's going to draw her out, and her ass is mine. And that's it. We're going to go to her granddaughter. We're going to pull the heartstrings. And that's what I mean. Yeah.
No, it's so treacherous and smart.
Not only being treacherous, Gabe, think about this. She was going to die of cancer anyway, right? She knew it. So her coming out, she knew she had to prove somehow to her granddaughter that this is real so she could save the rest of the family.
And that's why she said, seeing is believing. Remember?
Yes, seeing
is believing. And then bing.
Oh, man, that was rough. And it was a quick
one. I love that they had Iris be an old friend of Bloodworth like that because
but here's what I don't
get. A beautiful thing to do, that they were old friends. She's like, I'm so sorry to hear about my old friend Iris. You know, and you also realize that, spoilers to anybody who's watching, just FYI, Bloodworth is also on Death's list.
Yeah.
You remember that, right? True. And that's why he says that at the end, because he looks forward to like, he's the last one. He's the final one in the premonition to die.
But here's what I don't understand, Gabe, right?
In that premonition.
So, but
that premonition, yes.
The original, right? This is what I'm gathering is this is supposed to be the first time something like this happened with a premonition.
Yes.
Right? So everybody
that we know of.
Yeah, right. You don't really know.
So
Death could have been doing this all through the ages.
That's true. Well, that's true. But let's just say hypothetically this was this. She saved everybody, apparently, right? So maybe this is a stretch right now. Maybe that this happened, all those people that were saved were grandparents or parents of the other kids that died from
flight. Exactly.
Flight when all parts 1 to 5. Now, my thing is this. So going back when she left there and he said she saved me. She had no real. How did she save him though? I mean, she got escorted out. Is it because of her scene? I'm gathering that.
It's like she saved everybody else because he was on that sky needle.
He was on the thing, but like, how did she specifically save? I don't know. Maybe it's just me over.
Because in the premonition, he gets impaled, and then he's falling behind her because he's a kid. Remember the scene where she?
Yes, I remember the premonition.
Well, he falls with her, but obviously, even if it's a split second, he dies right after her because nobody's gonna survive that fall.
Yeah, that's true. So
he probably watched over time. He probably studied her premonition or befriended her and found out from her what happened in her head, and watched and studied as everybody from that day and their descendants all died.
It makes you wonder though, because look at his profession, right? Why would he have gone into being a coroner? Right, and so maybe Death was like, okay, maybe
he went there to study death.
Yeah, let's see. I think it's the fourth one when the guy that's
whammy on Anchorman.
When he gets burnt by that hot tar. Oh.
Hey Rogers, what's going on, buddy? Thank you for the madness tonight.
Yeah, but that's the thing. But Jim, like aside from everybody died right in the opening premonition, and that opening scene, I thought was spectacular. I thought it was great. And like you said, so many things that pull at your heartstrings when they set up the characters, this young girl. Yeah. I guess we're blowing this out of the water, right? So spoilers, she just got proposed to. She's pregnant, right? They're very nice people. And they get this opportunity to go to this beautiful place and then they all die. So, but as we come to learn, it doesn't matter whether you're on the list or not, because several people in Bloodlines bite the dust, get in Death's way, and they go, and they're not in the Bloodline. So all bets are off. There's no
Yeah.
more sticking to the chain, the dominant, the chain there, whatever.
Yeah.
It's you get in the way, that's taking you out.
Only
That's
one
it.
person. Only one person died who wasn't in Bloodlines, who wasn't on the list. Only one person.
Well, in Bloodlines.
It was only this.
Oh yeah, because
the adopted son was the only one who died that we know
in the movie, right? Now think about everyone else. So do you remember the big tree that she puts up on the wall from her grandmother?
Right.
So death went after every single one of those people that made it out.
The other movies, okay.
I'm saying no, even in Bloodline. So this is just this one family, right? But in this one particular family, right, you have the kid who finds out he was adopted, and so he got in the way. Yeah. But I'm just thinking, like, out of all the other families in that whole tree, the tree of death, if you want to say, like, who knows? Who knows how many other familiars?
Maybe the Flight 180. Maybe a lot of those people on that plane were not part of Death's plan. And you think about that now when you realize that the people that were part of Death's plan that were supposed to die were the ones that are the descendants of the one from the Skyview. Yeah. So you realize that maybe on the Flight 180, none of the people who actually died on the flight were the descendants. Maybe all those descendants were saved by Devon Sawa's character. Maybe only some of the descendants died.
We don't even know. Because
what are the odds that every single person on the plane is a descendant? That's like astronomical. So obviously, people who on that plane died,
it's just
people on that plane who died were probably just on the plane.
Sure, random people.
Yeah, like listen, you look at the end of 5. He beat death. And M.O. Bell's character wasn't supposed to die. He wound up in somebody else's premonition, but since he ended up in somebody else's premonition, he had that thing with dust in the wind, and he pricked his finger. But he already cheated death. He got the guy's life. He did what Tony Todd told him to do. To take another life.
Right. You're talking about the guy Peter, right? You're talking about the guy Peter who tries to kill
and
the girlfriend.
He kills the
he shoots the cop.
Peter shoots the cop, but then what's his name? Then he gets the cop's life, and then her boyfriend, the one who's had the premonition, kills him, and she never died. Emma Bell's character never died in the premonition.
That's true. That's right. He helped to save them. Right. He helped her. Right.
Survived. Yeah, the two of them survived. And then they both died in Devon Sawa's premonition.
Right.
They ended up in his
because 5 is really a prequel to the first one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's a good point, Gabe. Yeah, because that's true. In his premonition, when they're on the bridge, right, he gets her to safety. And so during that whole sequence, the whole movie, Death's never really after her.
And he gets 2 people's lives, you realize, because what's his name killed the cop, and then the guy he gets both his friend's life and the cop's life, who's he gets Brock's life, the cop, as well as his friend who's supposed to die. So he basically gets 2 people's lives. Well, really 1, because one of them was supposed to die any day now.
Right. Yeah.
So really, they did survive. They did cheat death, but they wound up in somebody else's premonition, and that's how they died. It's just like because he took the job in France. If he never did, he never would have wound up on Flight 180, and he never would have died like that.
Right, and so I noticed Tony made a good point, which brings me to something. Is Death's plan right? Is Death's plan God's plan? So here's the thing: how do you guys look at it? So I think about it like this: why? Either there's a lot of gifted children out there during that time period, or somebody is giving these kids the ability to have these visions. And so is it because think about this: it's got to be Death. It's got to be Death having fun with them because
toying with them.
Yeah, it's like, okay, I'm going to give them the vision and I'm going to go on the hunt.
Or maybe it's God, but maybe it's God giving them a chance to survive.
Yeah.
But nobody ever does though. That's the thing.
But they
it's just a life of torture. Well, for an extended period of time.
But just like anybody, that's not like anybody, but the 2 people in the second one, they survive. And
for a while.
In the deleted in the extras, they say they did end up in a wood chipper, but that's not canon.
Right. I mean, you never see Alex's death, but they talk about it. Remember, Ali Larder talks about how they don't show you for whatever reason.
Alex. I'm talking about from the second movie, the 2 people.
The woman in the water.
There's special features in part 3 in the DVD of Final Destination 3 that say they both end up in a wood chipper, but then Tony Todd's character says she does survive and she beat death in Bloodlines.
Yeah,
whatever, the KK, her character.
Right.
She cheated death. So they survived, and Emma Bell and her boyfriend's character survived, but the only reason they died is not because they didn't cheat death, is because they cheated death. They just ended up in somebody else's premonition.
Yeah.
They ended up in somebody else's
right. And
so didn't necessarily have to be, and because of their choices, they ended up there, but he still would have had somebody else's years left if he didn't end up on that plane.
I guess you had to end up like grandma, hunkering down, reading the signs. The only way you're going to get through it.
Still somebody that nobody would miss or that you just want to dead.
I mean, you know, yeah, because with grandma, man, that reminded me, I don't know why. It reminded me of Jamie Lee Curtis in Halloween 2018. But yeah, I guess
she was way older than that.
Yeah. No, I was just saying the way
she's too old to kill at that point, Jim. You got to find someone younger.
No,
she looks like Sally Hardesty. She looks like Sally Hardesty age from the new Texas Chainsaw.
You're right. She does. Yeah. I mean, listen, it was great. Some of the deaths in Bloodlines were really gruesome.
Yeah.
Even the truck one.
You could just go to a prison, find somebody that's on death row, that's younger, death row, take them out, and then you get those years, man.
Yeah. That's the only way of doing it. But you know what? How many years do they have? Death row.
So you kill 10 of them. You kill 10 of them. There you go.
Life without parole.
Yeah,
that's what I mean. If they're on death row, we'll save us the taxpayers some money, and we'll extend our lives.
I don't like how we're giving people ideas here today.
Yeah, I know.
Let's not do that. We're gonna get kicked off. We're gonna lose. I'm just kidding.
No, but I'm thinking so from Bloodlines, right? Because there's so many. It makes you think. It really does. With everybody in the blueprint and design and Bloodlines, spoilers. Everybody gets it. Everybody dies, and the end of the film, and it even made what Tony said more real because, like, he was basically saying, after them, it's him. You know, that's essentially what he was saying. And everybody in the movie died. And, of course, paying homage to the log truck again at the end after the whole train hit the town, fucking logs coming in, completely crushing the brother and sister. And then it ends. So they die. And then in real life, you know, everything that happened with Tony. So it makes it kind of mind fucks you in a way, you know, like the whole everything he said, man. It was so real. It was so
you realize their father and
at the end.
Their father and the sister-in-law both live.
Yes, but the father, remember, it was not.
They're not the bloodline. They're not in the bloodline.
They're not bloodline, and they didn't intervene. They stayed home. They were smart. They kept their asses home.
but I mean, I think my takeaway, again, my negative point on.
Let's hear the negatives, Jim.
Well, I was talking about, I was kind of confused with how Tony was actually, you know, saved from this. He watched her. I mean, obviously the premonition, but when it really happened, he just watched her get escorted out. How was that saving him? I guess because of the scene she made. Maybe that was it. Fine. I understand that. I do think that the characters, and this is something Wolfman was supposed to be on. He's under the weather today. Ian, Wolfman was supposed to be on here. And we both agreed on this one. That it wasn't like I really wasn't too invested in some of the characters. Like I didn't really feel too bad when some of them died. Only the brother and sister at the end. Everybody else, I didn't really get behind. Like it wasn't written. I'm not gonna say it was written bad, in my opinion. I think it could have been written a little bit better to get us more invested.
You're supposed to like every character, though.
Yeah. Well, not everyone, but you know, you're supposed to feel for, you know, a good portion of them. And it's
you make a connection with at least one of them.
You got to make a connection, yeah. But my thing is, you know, if you look at the other films, I'm going to talk about the first two. Definitely the first one. I got invested in every character except for the jock dude. There's always that one fuck. So everybody else, I felt genuinely bad that they got it. Even in the second one, everybody.
Most of them, really.
Most of them, I got behind it in the second one. The third one, I got to think again. Yeah, I think even the third one, the Tannen. Well, I mean, they were a little, you know. It's
like I said, they're kind of.
But you know, you get invested in these characters. I just think it could have been written a little bit better as far as getting people really
Well, maybe it was just
a
the
little more
casting.
character development. No, that's just me. Maybe I'm overthinking it. Maybe it's like, yo,
Well,
Jimmy.
I think the mother I got invested in because she was trying to do well by her kids.
Yeah, I did.
She was the one who was rooting for her daughter, who trying to say maybe you could help us beat this.
Yo,
So
look at this
character too.
back to back. I gotta say this: Jay Rogers and Tony
Ah.
is Tony Todd's character death, and then Tony right
A
behind
lot
him.
of
was
people
Tony Todd death
suspected
all
that
along.
initially.
Yeah, because in the beginning, when the first movie, I thought he was dead right off the bat.
Well, because it keeps showing up at everywhere.
The way
Yeah.
Cemeteries, yeah,
he's just there. He's like, but he's like, he already knew Alex's name. When he walked in. See, now I remember the name.
Because he probably with Iris, he studied those or because of Iris, he studied the case over the years and
Yeah.
followed the bloodlines, which is why
Yeah.
he knew so much.
So I think this could honestly, if they ended the franchise right here, I wouldn't be upset. I wouldn't be upset.
No, I honestly think they should.
Because
And I
it's
almost
time.
never say that. I love when franchises carry on, but I think this was the perfect, like I said, bookends from the beginning
Yeah.
to the end. Perfect bookends for a franchise of any franchise.
Well,
Perfect bookends.
let me share some information with you because I was just a little curious, I always like to see what they do at the box office. Movies that are 20, 30 years and they have remakes and stuff. So little interesting info as far as whether or not they're going to do another one. Okay, so already this movie's done. I don't know if this is worldwide or domestic. I don't know if it is playing
It's number one movie in the
globally.
world right now.
Okay, thank you. So it's grossed almost 60. What is that? 63 million. And then, so that's and it's only out what, 2 weeks?
Not even a full week.
Not even a full week.
Okay, so it's already. Yeah, so it's already grossed
It has the
62
biggest R-rated biggest R-rated horror opening of the decade.
I don't know
Wow,
how.
yeah. Well, I'll tell you right now. Yeah, opening weekend was almost 52 million. Now, I'll give you a comparison. Right, so opening weekend was almost 52 million, and so far gross is almost 63. Okay, so I'll start with the first movie.
You remember,
right?
it's also finals week, so a lot of young people aren't going to theaters during the week when they're not,
That's
true.
true.
Season.
That's a good point. That's a very good point. So first movie, right? We're going back to March of 2000.
Yeah.
It did it. Opening weekend was 10 million. The gross was 53. All right. The second film was January of 2003. Opening was 16.2 mil. The gross was almost 47 mil. So it's starting to taper off a little.
Yeah.
Even though the opening weekend was stronger, it starts to taper off in the gross.
Yeah.
Okay. Third movie, right? February of 06. Opening weekend is over 20 million. The gross is 54.
Okay.
All right. So fourth movie, we're jumping up to August of 2009. That did good. 27.5 mil on opening weekend.
Okay.
And 66.5 mil gross. So, and then the fifth movie, let's see, that was August of 2011. Opening weekend was 18 mil. So it tapered off quite a bit. The gross was 42.5 mil.
Yeah.
So they're already, and then, so Bloodlines is already done more than every other movie. And it's less than 2 weeks.
But
so who knows?
You look at it though, it's been
6 days. It's been 6 days.
6 days, but I'm thinking like how many the last movie came out in 2011 before this one.
Yeah.
So it was almost 15 years. It was 14 years since we've seen a film. And you know what?
Right.
When this is a major franchise in our killer genre, and I feel like everyone's going to go out there to see it because there's another Final Destination film. So to an extent, it's like, well, curiosity, regardless if they're going to like it or not, people going to watch it. And you know what? They've done a lot of promotional work with this. They've done some interesting things to promote this film as well.
And I would love to see that breakdown, Jim. Like you're saying, the promotion. I'd love to see what the age ranges are. Is it going to be people like us, like that have? Again, we're talking about 26. The first one was 2000. right? 26 years. So
Yeah.
over the course of almost 3 decades, well, 3 decades. So is the new blood interested? Are they going to go out and see it? I'd love to see the breakdown of who's buying the tickets, by age.
I want to see that too, but I gotta be honest, John. I think it is the younger generation going out as well as because right now horror is booming. I've said this for weeks, for years now. So you're getting everybody. You're getting the old school horror fans. You're getting the people that are like casual horror fans, especially for Final Destination, and you're getting the younger generation to go out and watch these films. And this is what I'm telling you. It's never been a better time to love this genre, to be involved in this community of ours, man. So Final Destination drew some crazy numbers, man. 6 days. That's incredible. And, overall, I did enjoy the film for what it was. Like I said, there was a couple takeaways. Writing could have been a little bit better. I know Ian, one point that Wolfman I want to throw out there, he said there was a lot of CGI in it. It was too much CGI. Let's see more practical. I mean, I love the kills in this one, though, man. I think everything was, man. I just can't get over that hospital scene. Both of them, back to back deaths with vending machines, corkscrew, and before that, through the MRI. I am terrified of MRI machines. I can't.
By the way, I find it hilarious that the whole movie played him back to you during our podcast.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Put on the second one. Let's go.
We're doing a marathon, man.
We're doing the marathon all night.
Yeah, Big J said,
introduce my daughter
to horror movies early, just like myself. We're definitely going in November to watch the new Conjuring.
Yes,
yeah, I think it's September. September.
I'm very excited for it.
But yeah, definitely, Jay, you're raising it right, brother. 100%.
Yeah, I saw the trailer for that.
How about one more? Tony said, "Oh yeah, I did too. It looked pretty good." How about one more movie that connects them all in some form to end our death's design, so that maybe it can lead into a new design? I mean, look, if they're going to keep the franchise going, see, it's tough because it would have to be a new design. I want them to somehow, if they do another film, talk about Tony. Like they have to talk about him.
You have to at least reference him
or talk about, well, there was, whatever, and then go into this new design. And maybe they forgot, oh, wait, there was somebody that had a kid, or maybe Tony had a kid, didn't even know he had a kid, something like that. And this is his son. And now it's like he's on the list. Tony went. So, and then just build up from there. I mean, there's so much Hollywood writers. I mean, come on, they can get creative here. We can get something else too. But it's like, but here's my thing about this. I'm sorry. I gotta ask this question. And I need everybody to answer this. What would you want to see the next film be? What is your fear? Your fear. What fear do you want to see come to life on the screen? Like, because they've done a lot. They've done planes. They've done cars. They've done roller coasters. I mean,
they haven't been into space yet.
A cruise.
A cruise, yeah, a cruise. As a matter of fact, I thought this one was going to be with the cruise because somebody had posted. I think it was fan art though.
I want to mention I got an idea for a sequel, and it actually takes upon what you said, Jimmy, but it takes a little step further. What if the protagonist who has a premonition is a young black or a young adult black kid who finds out that he's distantly related to or somehow related to Bloodworth, and that Bloodworth had a son, but he never knew about that. He never knew about it. He finds out he's related, and that's sort of like discovered during the film. That's an idea,
That's an idea. Tony says we should be making it right in these movies. Listen, I'm down. With our minds here, we can really do some damage, and as fans especially. And Tony, I dare I say this, Tony, you and Jay both been supporters since day one, and Tony, you have just your wealth of knowledge for this genre, dude. So
the only thing is Warner Brothers might have a little issue with us remaking or making a sequel or a prequel or a prequel.
Well, I'm having
somebody. I'm gonna steal a pun from you, Gabe. Somebody better warn the brothers that we're coming. Okay?
Warner Brothers.
And I'm gonna quote Swift, our brother Swift, who said, "What's ours is ours, and what's theirs is ours." Yeah.
By the way, this summer I should be having Jeffrey Reddick, the creator of Final Destination, on my podcast because he agreed to be on my podcast. So I'm waiting for him to hit me up to return my email. I wrote him on Instagram. He follows me on Instagram. He just wrote me today. He just texted comments on something today, but he wrote me back. He said, "I'll check it. I'm gonna go when things die down after the rush of this movie. I'm gonna go through my emails, and he's just gonna let me know when we're gonna do a podcast."
What is it? From where, Gabe? From where?
Jeffrey Reddick. Jeffrey Reddick. He's the creator of Final Destination.
Oh, okay.
So I'm gonna have him on my podcast hopefully this summer.
Awesome.
Gotcha.
Keep us posted, Gabe.
And also Jimmy, I got to send you a short film that my friend made. He wants me to send it to some people. So I'm trying to get his work out there because I want to work with him.
That's cool, man. Yeah, that would be too bad you couldn't get him come on for this conversation, huh?
I should have. I'll try to get him on for this one. He's big on horror. Maybe I'll ask him if maybe I'll connect him with you, Jimmy. Maybe you guys could work together, or we could get him on this next podcast.
You know what? And this is what next week, and I just want to throw this out there because as we wrap up Final Destination here. Next week it's a free for all week. I'm doing this once a month because we have so many things sometimes that we just tend to touch on all these shows, and I know sometimes it goes off the road, but we bring it back. But this time, it's meant to go off the road. It's meant to go anywhere. That's why it's a free for all. And we
don't even know if we're all going to make it through.
We got to have a lot of people on. We got to have a lot of people on.
Anybody wants to come on? What I want to do, I'm going to send the link out. I'm going to ask anybody that wants to be on, email us. This is what we're going to do here. If you're seeing this, not just shoot us an email, horrorheads365@gmail.com. Send it over if you want to be on the show on these free-for-all episodes once a month that we're doing. We're going to do it next weekend. You want to be on the show, shoot us an email. We're going to send you the link, and we're going to add you on. We can have up to, I think, 9 or 10 people on at once.
9, I think, yeah.
9 or 10 on at once, and there's nothing off the table, whatever you want to talk about. So, because I want to do this because all of us here are fans. And I love talking to other fans, and I love learning from other fans because there's a lot that I don't know that everybody fills me in on. Then I go back and I watch it. You know, and I'll say this, always a huge horror fan, but a lot of the stuff that I loved was, I guess you want to call it mainstream or more commercial, if you want to say that, major franchises. I did like some of the other obscure movies, but it was like, there's so many I'm starting to learn about now. And it just keeps going, but the love is there, man. It's always been there. This is why we have an incredible team. So why we have even more incredible fans out here. And I want to talk with everybody else. I want to get everybody else's perspective on things as well. And whatever the hell you want to talk about. It's a free for all next week. So I can't wait for that one. And I can't wait to do that once a month. Hold on. Jay Rogers says, that would be sick, my friend. And then you can sit there and shoot some ideas about a new. Hey, listen, man, I'm down. I think he was talking about Gabe. He was talking about you, talking with Jeffrey. Let's see what happens with that either way. I want to also have, we had a conversation recently, pre-recorded with Douglas Tate. That's going to be dropping when we have the new season coming out for those episodes. But I want to get some more guests on the lives so we can have, them interact with them. So if anybody out there has any suggestions, anybody you want to, realistically, because I'm not going to get Robert England on the show. I would love to, but to get him on, I need a scroll. You know what I'm saying? I need a bankroll. I need to throw him some funds for his time, which I understand. Hold on. What do we have here? Mama Swift, Jimmy, I have something for you to look at. Can I send it? Yes, absolutely. Send it on over, please. Mama Swift, we got to get you on.
Jimmy, I could try to get, I had Monica Kina, the star of Freddy versus Jason.
Oh, get her on.
I'll ask her if she wants to join.
Yes, come on.
Yeah,
I love her, man. She's amazing.
I'll ask her if she wants to join, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I would appreciate it. Even listen, you tell her 10 minutes. We just want to, and if she has a set date, set Wednesday next month, we'll plan ahead. This way we can have her on for like 10 minutes or so.
I'll text her. I'll let her know. Yeah, for sure.
And if that happens, I can't promise Freddy Krueger won't make an appearance. To say.
Yes, Johnny.
Award-winning cosplayer.
We got some other stuff.
Come on now.
Yeah,
you're too kind.
There we go.
Dude, you are one of the best cosplayers on Monster Mania. You know that.
Thanks, dude. I appreciate that. Thank you.
It's gonna be a banger. Tony, that was a little promotional stuff. I was doing out there. Shout out to Pyro Joe as well. A great dude. Side note, that's what Tony was referencing there. Little festival coming up next month. But hey, that's another thing. If you need any promos, contact me. Whatever it is.
Oh, Jimmy, and I owe you an apology. I told you I try to get the Fuzz and the Lens guys to talk about something in August, right? September, August. Send me the details that you asked about.
September. Yes. Yeah.
Let me know the details you have. Email me. You have my email now. Email me all the details you have, and I'll forward it to them. I'll text them. I'll reach out. I'll even message David. I'll see what I can do.
All right, Nate, you're the man, Gabe. I appreciate the effort. You know,
Sure.
I understand everybody's busy. They have things going on, and
doesn't hurt to ask. It never hurts to ask.
No, thank you, Tony. You're the best, bro. I appreciate that. You guys
never hurts to ask.
And you know why it's funny, Doug? The reason I was able to talk to Douglas Tate is because I sent him an audio, and this is going out to everybody that has a problem with my audio messages. He says, what got me, Jimmy, is your audio message and the energy. Is like, this guy is amazing. It really blew smoke my direction, and I was, honored that he said that. But you know what? That goes to show you got to show them you're a real guy, you're a real woman, whatever. Like, hey.
You can't feel the passion in text message.
Yes, you can't. Yeah. Thank you, John. You can't.
Yeah.
That's so true. That's why I love that they made these audio messages. But you know what, Instagram? Stop fucking capping me at a minute, okay? You want to cap me at a minute. Yeah, they started capping me.
They didn't. Well,
Instagram's like, let's cap that cracker.
Why is there some people I'm capped at a minute? In the group chat, I'm not, but I'm capped at a minute. Facebook.
I don't know. That's
Facebook. Instagram has it in for you. They're like, let's cap that cracker.
He's blowing up the servers.
Oh man, but anyway, guys, Final Destination. Final thoughts on Final Destination. Gabe, you want to go? What's your final?
I will say, I do have to see it again, but the final deaths were not satisfying. They were not. I mean, the ending was over the top fun, but the final deaths, again, I don't like when kids die in movies. So it's it's because I really liked the brother and the sister. So seeing them get crushed by flying logs, that leaving them nothing left to bury, literally nothing left of their bodies other than mush. It was just so depressing. But it was a great epic, came out of left field, literally out of the left with a screen and out of field. But it was that's. I mean, I felt like the deaths were perfectly, the way we were led to believe one thing, how they psyched us out twice. Yeah. Of the guy who turned out to be adopted just to kill him in one of the coolest deaths in all the Final Destination movies. Okay, I think that was genius. That was absolute genius. I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun, and I felt like Tony. What made it so special, not even so much better, just having Tony Todd there and having him do that message to people was such a beautiful send off that will remain eternal in horror film history. You're gonna, if you ever seen, I don't know if you ever seen the movie Babylon, which I loved. It was one of those movies that with Brad Pitt and Margot Robbie and all these people, but there was a great line that somebody says to Brad Pitt in a monologue, basically saying how you might not be a big actor anymore, but one day in several years or a number of years, you're going to be immortalized on screen. People are going to see you from ages and ages later, and you're going to be immortalized on screen. Tony Todd is immortalized on screen already, but his one scene in this film immortalized him in a way that we never could have, that fans will love and fans have cried over.
Yeah,
he created a legacy. Well, that's it. Between this movie and all the other films he's been in, he created a legacy for himself. So,
and he was a sweet man. I know his sister and
Monique, right? Yeah.
He was just a real sweet man. From the few times I met him, he was so friendly, so kind, so sweet, and he was just a special man. So it was a beautiful close to his book too.
Yeah, it's horrible to see them decline from an illness.
Yeah,
but at least they get to have, like you said, to cement that last final part of the legacy. I just to shift gears for a quick second. I remember years back before Sid Haig passed away, and Cherry Hill, Monster Mania, and I was sitting in the restaurant there,
Yeah.
and I saw him eating, and I remember seeing him how thin he was, and I
Yeah.
just thought of that when I saw Tony, and it just, it's sad. It's really sad because
I'm literally crying.
because they're icons in the genre that we love,
Yeah.
and also because as human beings, that's a horrible thing to go
they're
through.
Sweet, and they're sweet people, kind
Yeah,
people.
Right. That's
too.
what I mean.
A
There's
lot
the
of good
human
stories about
factor.
it.
And so a lot of times people don't think about that because we see them on the screen, especially like Sid Haig playing these crazy lunatic characters, but that in real life they're super sweet people. And so it's very heartfelt and sad to see the decline of these people that we consider iconic characters on the screen and off the screen, because as many people will attest, meeting them it was maybe even better than the characters that they played on screen. Meeting them in real life was so nice.
Yeah.
And I didn't get the chance to meet Tony, but unfortunately,
Sorry, man.
just to the point, it's
he would have loved. I'm sure he would have loved you. Like he loved everybody. Such a sweet man, so friendly. I'll tell you the truth. One last thing I want to mention: the greatest photo op that gave him a kick. It really made him laugh. My last time seeing him was in Dallas in 2021 for Texas Frightmare, and 3 guys dressed as bees to do a photo op. He was dressed in costume as Candyman, and these 3 grown men were dressed as giant bees.
Oh my god!
And it was like
That's great.
This is right in front of me online. This is like the 3 guys in front of me online.
That's funny.
He got such a kick out of it. But I will tell you, like somebody's always referencing The Rock. You know, The Rock. He was the first. So I came up to him and singing Rocket Man, and he's like, let him. He doesn't know the words. He's just singing along with me, like, because and then at the panel, I said to him, you know, because I got called on during his panel with the kid from the first Candyman. So you were the first Black Horror icon, but you were also the first Black Rocket Man, and he got a kick out of that. But he was such an animated, friendly, happy man, and it's just,
and a larger than life and a literal larger than life character.
He's being wacky in his Candyman outfit. It was so, and I got him doing that. It was so just losing him is such a toll on the horror world.
Yeah. No, it is. It's terrible, man. It really is. Like there's so much more I wanted to see with Tony and Tony involved in. But to your point, if there was any way on the screen for him to go out, this was it.
Yeah,
it was it right here.
Faithful.
It was so
honest goodbye.
Yeah, it was so like it was real. It was so real. And
a lot of us don't get that opportunity.
No, and now you talk about immortalizing that scene. Immortalized him alone. Well, I mean, he already beforehand he was, especially with Candyman and stuff, but in his theater work. But just that alone, right here on the screen, close that chapter and close everything. It's just wow, and it sends shivers down my spine, literally. Like I was sitting there with goosebumps, all of my just hearing him speak what he was saying, and especially knowing what had happened. It's sad. It really is sad what happened. But we gotta look at this. Like again, to the point I said. If there's one takeaway from this whole franchise and from this whole conversation today, it's when we all leave this live and when you start watching this, you need to take time for yourself. You need to live in the day. You need to every day, take a moment for you, take time for you, do something that you've been wanting to do for a long time. Do not put it off because you never know if you're going to be able to do it, you know, and you want to live every day. That's it. Just live.
And that's the thing. Whether
we have things going. I'm sorry, John. We have things going on in life, and jobs, work, house, family, everything going on. But you got to be able to take that time, no matter what, for yourself, for your loved ones, and do what you want to do. You have that bucket list, man. Just start crushing those goals. Start, accomplishing things that you've been wanting, that you have written down. I mean, it's too short. It's too damn short. Okay. Hopefully, when this is all said and done here at Horror 365, we could have left behind something and made a blueprint for other people to follow. You know, down other fans. I don't know. You know, that's my goal, is to leave behind a legacy here, to have fun doing it. Have fun, because we forget as we get older how to fucking do that, how to have fun and how to live. And we got to stop. We have to really take what Tony said on that screen, live by it. Bottom line, every second. So anyway, it was that was the one reason why I got to say I absolutely love this film, because of that, because of Tony, and because of that send off. There are a couple little things I can nitpick, but overall, it tied things together. The Bloodline, if this is it, hey, I'm okay with it. If they're going to make more, do it right. That's all I'm going to say. You know, and that's my thoughts. And that's my thoughts on this. So, John, you were saying something. I know I had cut you off.
Yeah. No, that's okay. No, I was just going to say, whether you live to a ripe old age or you don't, absolutely. And
take care, Mama Swift.
Mama Swift.
That's it. What were you saying? The ripe old age?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. They waited too long, unfortunately, at the devil
froze.
Yeah, but they did. We said, hey.
Love him as Rob Zombie Hatchet.
Yes, he was great in that. He was great in
Night of
Hatchet.
the Living Dead. Night of the Living Dead. I think he did a better job than the original.
Yes.
Yes.
I love that. I love the remake with him.
Interesting.
Yeah. So
yeah. Whether you, like I said, whether you make it to a ripe old age or you don't, if you do and you're sitting in that chair and you don't want to be sitting there with regrets, I should have done this, I could have done this, you never know until you try.
Yeah.
And if you fail, you fail. At least you tried, and there's no regrets. So that's going to be it for the sappy sentimental part. Jumping back to the movie for a second, just a couple of fun facts that we didn't talk about.
We got to end this on a high note. Go ahead, John.
So just little things I picked up that I never really thought of until recently, and I said, you know what? Now we got the power of this technology where I could just go, hey Google, what's this?
Yeah.
And I could find out. So in the movie, you know, they reference the number white 180 a lot. You see 180 popping up, flight 180, 180 on the sign before the big highway crash. So I was like, what is the significance of this? And so from what I pulled off the internet was basically that, there was a lot of things there, but a couple of things I picked out was that it appears in, throughout the subsequent films, because it's a recurring symbol of an omen, a symbol or an omen of death. And it could also mean 180, like it's total, like when they say you're pulling a 180, it's like a total reverse.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then there's a whole bunch of other things, but I was just saying, if anyone is curious about that, do an AI search and you'll see all these different references to that 180
pops
number.
Up throughout the franchise. Yeah.
Right. And it's the flight 180 that the plane that, and dying on. And
there was like an overhead. There was one point where there's like an overhead thing, like on a banner, and it said, if you look at something backwards in the corner of the screen, it's spelled 180. It was crazy.
Yeah. So there's those little, as they say, Easter egg that's planted, throughout the different movies.
I love Easter eggs.
And so I was also curious, if you remember, I think it was in the fifth movie where Tony Todd is at the cemetery and he's whistling a song. So I was like, he's got to be whistling something of some significance. And so I got one search came up and said he was whistling Don't Fear the Reaper by Blue Oyster Cult, which I didn't get that. And then the other suggestion was it's a song, it's a hymn, a religious hymn, I think. I could be screwing this up, but it's called Leaning on the Everlasting Arms. It's a symbolic gesture that amplifies the themes of fate and inevitability and the chilling presence of death.
Oh,
stuff like that, or represents itself as a chilling presence of death in the franchise. So I don't know, just some kind of little interesting things. I was like, I wanted to understand like the significance of these things, that especially that 180. I'm like, what does that 180 keep occurring? And it was kind of interesting to again see the perspective or how they set it up to be viewed, how you would take it in the movies from movie. Other than that, like I said before, man, to me, what makes this whole franchise so great is that, like I said, you can never really see death. It's all around you, and it's nowhere at the same time. And to live under that threat or that thought, I would probably just run in front of the traffic myself. I'm like, I can't take this. Just do it already. I'll be like, I'm not giving you the satisfaction. I'm going out on my terms. I'm jumping in front of a train. But no, it's I think that whole premise, which is why the franchise is so successful, is because of that. There's never a face to the threat, to the villain, to death, whatever you want to call it. And so you never know where it's going to pop up, and you can never escape it.
I love the inconsistent continuity, meaning
Right.
what I mean by that is like they're able to maintain continuity even in like after all the inconsistent storylines, and like they're able to tie it up all together in the end.
Right. And that's it. And of course, having Tony at the end, what Tony says at the end, the whole franchise exemplifies that saying, because that's what it's all about. At the whole point of, to me, the takeaway is like I said, Jim, like you said, Gabe, appreciate the moments, live life to the fullest, and make the best of it, and put some smiles on people's faces along the way if you can.
That's what we're talking about, man. You got it, man. You got to laugh. You got to laugh a little bit. We had some fun today, guys. We have fun every week. Next week,
hell yeah,
coming back, maybe. Look at that. You want a party time?
Somebody's ready to party.
Oh, there we go. Party. You got me.
Get it. Somebody's ready to party.
We got you. We got it. That was a good one. I give you some points for that one.
You guys ready for it? We're signing out of here.
All right.
I gotta go out. Freeway, I gotta go. All right, everybody. You gotta shout.
I love the song.
Thanks for the compliment, Gabe. Appreciate it.
I appreciate you guys. Listen. Thank you, Gabe. Hey.
There we go.
There we go. On a high note, because you never know when you're gonna go. You gotta party. Here it goes. A little bit louder now. Come on. Look at that. There it is, guys. Woo! Thank you, Gabe. Thank you, Johnny Small. Check them out. Peace and Northeast. We're going to see you next week. Free for all.
Hopefully.
Conversation. Hard 3.
I'll see you soon.
Yo.